television, and live stream, and through that evolution, new ideas have enhanced delivery, giving a stage to students both in front of and behind the microphone in Arizona and beyond. Thank you for supporting the Varsity Sports Show, now the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 educational organization. Hey fans, Vince DeLisio from the Varsity Sports Show. Whether you're running a business, protecting your home, or planning for the future, Hub International is your trusted independent insurance broker. They team up with top carriers like auto owners to deliver tailored coverage that fits your unique needs. From commercial and personal insurance to employee benefits and wealth management, Hub's got you covered. Visit Hub International and Auto Owners, where your goals meet our game plan. Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive dental care because they care. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and has been practicing in the Valley over 20 years. For general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008. Located off of Cave Creek Road just north of the 101 in North Phoenix. Angel Dentistry, proud supporters of our young people and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show. APAC is your one-stop source for all your automotive and heavy-duty air conditioning parts, supplies, and equipment. They're family-owned and have been the Valley's go-to for all your auto AC needs since 1982. Whether it's for your everyday or vintage car, commercial, or off-road vehicle or equipment, APAC has you covered. Call APAC, AAPAK, the AC experts at 602-254-1116 and ask for the Varsity Special to get 10% off your purchase.
Life at Cogier is full of warmth, connection, and adventure. Come and take a closer look at a new kind of senior living. Welcome to Cogier, where your next chapter is your best one yet.
Good evening and welcome to Mountain View Mesa High School. We have some week 3 high school football action for you tonight as the Boulder Creek Cougars are in town, or Jaguars, to take on the Mountain View Mesa Lobos. And I'm Jacob Noldy here with Javier Delgado for Varsity Sports Show. And Javier, this is the game we were at Mountain View Mesa last week. Kind of what are you looking for in this team as we saw them take on Mesa last week with that dominant win?
Yeah, so last week Mountain View looked very dominant. I mean, they played their crosstown rival and they looked amazing against them. Score was 46-7. So when you play a crosstown rival and come out like that, I mean, what more can you ask?
Yeah, dominant win there for Mountain View Mesa. As for Boulder Creek and the Jaguars, they're coming off a loss last week, 0-2 on the season. Not where they want to start at mostly, but coming in, obviously the stats are just show them for themselves. Similar stats for the completion percentage wise. Same thing for the yards completion. Big thing for the key to the game here for the Mountain View is those 4 sacks last week.
Yeah, last week Mountain View, their pass rush looked amazing. They had 4 sacks last week out of their 5 sacks for the season. So something to look out tonight for that Mountain View pass rush. They looked amazing last week.
Yeah, and then for Boulder Creek, those rush yards are going to be big, especially for tonight with a key injury as Joey Longo is going to be in at quarterback for Everett Stano. So that run game is going to have to prove crucial tonight.
Not yet, Reggie, not yet. Yeah, 317 rush yards on the season for Boulder Creek. So it looks like they will try to rely on their run-heavy offense tonight.
Yeah. And that Mountain View Mesa team is just coming off the week one loss against Perry. Obviously 37-0, not how you want to start a season, but that bounce back win against Mesa, and then looking going to be above 500 this week. How do you expect them to do that again this week?
I mean, honestly, ride the momentum. When you beat a crosstown rival, you get a lot of momentum based off that. And going into the next week, they're at home again. They have home field advantage. Take advantage of the crowd here and just keep pushing forward.
Yeah, and for this Boulder Creek team, they're just looking to get anything going. And as I talked to Coach earlier, his described his team as banged up today with key starters out, as we said, the QB already, Joey Longo in, who was their star receiver, who's tallied 9 touchdowns in his previous 3 games. So overall, just want to get anything going against a Mountain View Mesa team like this, tough on all scrimmage yards.
Yeah, especially when you're on the road, have to you have to do what you can, especially when you're banged up a little bit, and that's exactly what the Jaguars are going to do today.
Yep, and it's going to be a tough task for the Jaguars as we had last week's Week 2 player of the game and Brady Goodman throwing for over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns and just completion percentage 70% all around, just an amazing performance. How do we think Brady Goodman's going to replicate that performance this week against a Jaguar team like this?
I think he just bounces off the energy that he had last game. Goodman looked very good last game. Like we said, player of the game, 70% completion percentage. I feel like that's something to look out for that he had last game with a 104.7 quarterback rating. So I feel like the senior just needs to build off of last game, keep his guys in check, keep the energy high, and I feel like he should perform very well tonight as he did last game.
Yeah, near perfect QB right there and go along with the amazing defense from the Mountain View Mesa. Just overall, a big game, what we should see here obviously, from both teams. But going into this for Boulder Creek, a team that's banged up, what do you, and it's a rush game, and we're going to actually send it down to Nisa Reynolds here to go with live a pregame meetings with the head coaches.
I'm Nisa Reynolds here with Varsity Sports Show, here with Coach Litton of the Mountain View Toros. Coach Litton, how are you doing today?
Good, we're doing good.
And what is the game plan tonight against the Jags?
We just want to make sure that we play a clean game. We definitely think that if we show up, we can be the better team here tonight. So we want to play clean. We want to make sure that we keep them from ball control and make sure that we can get them off the field on defense.
And who are you focused on their offense tonight?
Number 18, all their offense runs through him. So not quite sure where they're going to put him. They might put him at quarterback here tonight, but 18 is where the ball's going to go.
Well, I wish you luck tonight, Coach Litton. Of course. Have a good night. Perfect. I'm Anissa Reynolds with Varsity Sports Show, here with head coach of the Boulder Creek Jaguars, Coach Barr. Coach Barr, how are you doing today?
Good.
And what is the game plan tonight?
Yeah, we got to play tough football. We got to execute. We really pride ourselves on playing smart, taking care of our responsibilities, being fundamentally sound. It's going to be a physical game. They do a really good job on their side for sure, coaching and playing. So we've got our work cut out for us for sure.
And who are some key players we should look out for tonight?
Yeah, there's quite a few. We've got some guys banged up, so you're gonna see some new faces out there. But we've been pretty good at next man up and playing as a team.
Of course. Thank you, Coach Barr.
Absolutely.
I'm Anissa Reynolds with Varsity Sports Show.
Welcome back to Mountain View Mesa High School here. National anthem has been played, fireworks have been fired, and we're ready for a football game here tonight. Going into this, Mesa just looking to propel, going over last week's performance, winning over, just dominating their crosstown rival. Coming into tonight, they started off kind of slow, not necessarily too slow, but for this offense, how do you expect them to get it going early again?
Yeah, I think they just ride their quarterback, Brady Goodman, like we mentioned earlier. He was the player of the game last game. He's a senior. That's the guy you play the energy off of. You just got to keep it going. Another thing, Boulder Creek's 0-2, but that's something you can't overlook into the game. Sometimes teams tend to overlook other teams, especially when they're winless. But it's early into the season. It's anyone's game, so they can't overlook them. But I think as long as they play through their quarterback, keep it rolling, they should be good tonight.
Yeah, and I think one of these things we see here is this is the second game of a 3-game homestand for the Lobos. And I think we're seeing right now is just there's huge crowds turnouts for each of these games. How do you think these fans just help the team propel each week and overall give them the support they need from the stands? How do you think they do that?
Well, last game how we talked about the pass rush, how the pass rush was really good last game. Once that defense starts to build, I feel like that's when the crowd starts to get really into it. Once they make more stands, that crowd gets into it. and it starts to give them more momentum throughout the game. And I feel like that's a big factor. It looks like we have a huge turnout for the Toros crowd today, which they can play off of that again, get some more energy, and keep the ball rolling.
Yeah, and then for this Boulder Creek team, I mean, both teams coming in last season, Mountain View obviously that state championship appearance, but lost unfortunately against excuse me. Yeah, with that, and then what's it called? Going forward, both teams last season. I mean, Boulder Creek, not none of the best performance they had last season, and then this season starting off 0-2. How does that mentally affect like a team, especially like a junior coming last season, coming into a senior year, and not being the best of the best that they can be? How does that mentally affect a team going into a tough team like Mountain View Mesa for you?
Well, honestly, I think it helps their mindset more. I think it makes them even more hungry, especially the juniors come into seniors. They know it's their last season. That mentality, they're just very hungry. They want to get after it, especially after losing in the championship. They want to complete their goal. Their goal is to win the championship towards the end of the season. So I think their mentality going to the season is they're just even hungrier. I don't think it necessarily affects them, but it positively affects them in a good way.
Yeah, and then it's not to add any injury to insult, but this Boulder Creek team, like we said earlier, banked up, really bad. Coach is telling us as they have multiple key players injured, including their starting quarterback at Everett Stano, as well as their senior running back Duke Milak, excuse me, and just not where you want to be, especially with a run-heavy team like Boulder Creek. They're gonna need everything they can get to go against a tough Mountain View Mesa defense like that. But should be a decent game overall. I think Mountain View Mesa comes into this game riding off the hot streak. Boulder Creek coming in hungry, looking for their first win. I think overall this should be a good game.
Yeah, I mean, it's one team coming off a big win, another team coming off two losses looking for their first win. So when I think you have that, the recipe for that's going to equal a good game. Both teams are hungry. One wants to ride the momentum, the other team's looking for their first win, hungry for that first win. So I think just those circumstances right there just show that both teams are going to go after it tonight.
Yeah, and then for the Mountain View, for the Lobos here, their head coach, Andy Litton, has really done an impressive job so far his first 2 years that he's been here. Last season, taking them to state, ultimately losing, unfortunately. But coming over from, as this is his second full season here at Mountain View, how do you expect to how do you think his mentality is kind of coming into the season, off the loss, disappointing end? How do you think he propelled his team to just kind of bounce back and let's run it back, but not, and ultimately finish better off this time?
I mean, yeah, like I said, I mean, football is a game of momentum. So they're going to ride the momentum off last week. And you can't say last season was a bad season just because it didn't end with a championship. That's a huge goal, especially when it's the coach's first season. So that's huge right there.
Yeah, and one of the big players we saw last week here at Mountain View was Talon Arnett. And one of the Talon Arnett just took over last game and just propelled his team to win, getting most of Goodman's 248 yards and most of his touchdowns that game, or excuse me, just one touchdown. How do you think this Mountain View team gets him involved more again to propel it to another win?
I mean, after last week when he was super involved into the offense, I think that's just when you make adjustments. That's when the coach adds more plays for him, some more design plays, and you just find a way to get the ball in his hands by any means. But I feel like that's the key to success right there. Get the ball in his hands. They had a week to draw up some more plays for him after seeing what he did last week, so you can expect anything from that offense today.
Yeah, and then we talked about earlier second game of the homestand, just Mountain View Mesa and the Toros. They're just I feel like it's like a place that a team does not want to have to come to when it comes November, December as the air gets colder because of the tough fans, tough crowd, tough environment, and that's something that's going to propel them tonight. And Boulder Creek's going to have to overcome that as they get on the road yet again.
Yeah, you can just tell by the energy in the crowd today. There's a lot of people out here today for the Toros, so I feel like that's going to play a huge factor, like you've said, especially as it gets later into the season when it gets colder. It's not a place that the opposing team wants to come to. So the Jaguars definitely have their hands full today when they coming into Mesa.
Yeah, and this is their first time playing Mountain View for the or both teams meeting for the first time in over a decade back in 2014 where they won here at Mountain View Mesa 27-20. So teams not really familiar with each other, don't have too much stuff on them besides film against other teams. How is that a challenge proposed to both, not just Boulder Creek, but Mountain View Mesa as well?
Yeah, so when you don't have much film on another team, I mean, you just have film from the other teams they played, it could cause a little bit of challenge, you know. But that's when you just rely on your coaches, you rely on your captains, get everyone together, and that's when you just go over the game plan and get everything in line.
Yeah, exactly. And then, like I said, another big turnout here today for the Mountain View Mesa Toros and Boulder Creek traveling especially well since they're over at least 30 minutes away from here. Overall, just the game we should see tonight, it should be a game of just toughness, coming from grit from both these teams. Run heavy offense against a very tough defense that we saw last week. It should be an amazing game on both sides.
Yeah, definitely. Especially for the Toros last week. It seems like they got off to a slightly slow start, but they built off of their defense, that pass rush, and then after that the offense got going, and then from there they just took off. I mean, they scored 46 points last week, which is a lot, and the defense only allowed 7. So I feel like the defense set up their offense, and I feel like that's one of the keys going into the game today. Let the offense and defense build off of each other and keep that momentum rolling.
Yeah, and you know what they say? They say defense wins championships. You've seen that all the time in any level. You know, NFL, you can see like the Ravens, Buffalo's game, Bills game. Defense played wacky on both sides. Ended up losing the game for the Ravens. Micah Parsons talked about yesterday. Defense wins championships. You give 20 on offense, they'll win the game for you. And this Southern Mountain View Mesa, they can get over that hump. They can do that with a good defense.
Yeah, exactly. I like those comparisons right there. I mean, it always starts with defense, and as we mentioned multiple times, that pass rush was really good last week. 4 sacks, and then they had a ton of pressure on top of that. So today it looks like they're going to continue to build off of that and keep that pass rush going, which will lead to good offense like we saw last week.
Yep. And as we gear up for kickoff here, looks like it's going to be Boulder Creek receiving the opening kick, and we'll see this Mountain View Mesa defense come out first, and should be a strong start on both sides as both teams line up. But overall, big game here for Mountain View Mesa. Week 3 coming in 1-1. Got to ultimately get at least 5 wins or more to get into the playoffs, and this should be a game that this team should look at themselves and be like, we can win this game. We can get that 2-1 record going into next week against Basha.
Exactly. Yeah. Last week we saw that their defense got off to a stronger start and the offense built off of that. So the defense goes out to the field first for the Toros tonight, so they'll have another opportunity to start strong on defense.
Yeah, exactly. There. Great set out of Javier as we get ready for kickoff. And number 15, John Gerard, ready to kick off for the Toros.
2 back right there for the Jaguars.
And we are off here on Friday night football here in Mountain View Mesa as received at the 1. Taken back, good run, good block so far. Gets just across the 20 where he's met by a Mountain View Mesa defender hard.
Good job right there by the Toros on special teams to swarm to him. Got him probably around the 20, maybe inside of the 20 right there. That was a good kick right there by Gerard.
Yeah, really good kick and good coverage from the defense there to set up this Boulder Creek Cougar or Jaguar team back.
Yeah, special teams always plays key factors, whether you think or not. From the very first kick, you never know what to expect, but we're getting started under here in Mesa.
Yeah, all 3 phases here as the Jaguars line up with one back in the backfield, set up here for first down and 10 at the 20. And it's an inside to the handoff, pitch back out, read option. Covered greatly there by Mountain View Mesa with a tackle for a loss at the 18. Wow, great coverage there from the running game there on Mountain View Mesa.
Yeah, that was a good job by the Toros right there to swarm to the ball. It looks like the Jaguars run heavy approach. We've seen it right there. They already went with a little pitch right there, a little quarterback option pitch. Toros swarm to the ball right there, and that's a great start for the first play for that Toros defense.
Yeah, and that was Steve Meadow there on the tackle for loss. Great tackle there as we come up here on second down and 13 for the Jaguars. Lines up under center here for Longo. And we got a flag here, early flag here. Looks guess we'll figure out right now. Looks like a neutral zone infraction on the defense.
Little eager right there.
Yeah, that's one of those things that Mountain View Mesa is not going to want to have to do to themselves at the game. That's the last thing you want is to beat yourself in a game.
Yeah.
And there's costly penalties. You cannot have that. That's early.
Yeah, you never want to shoot yourself in the foot right there, but they'll have another opportunity right here to get back in track.
Longo will line up under center here with running back in the backfield. So yeah, 2nd and 8 now. And goes with the handoff inside and is just quickly met by Mountain View Mesa defenders there on the inside. D-line quickly swarms them.
Yeah, it looks like the Toros defense there were expecting run. You can tell right there that the Jaguars were lined up in like a very run heavy right there. Gave it straight to the halfback right there, and that was a good stop right there by the interior D line for the Toros.
Yeah, and we'll now bring up 3rd and long here, 3rd and 7 for this Jaguars offense. Two plays from scrimmage already, and just the run defense already picking up from last week as we saw against Mesa. And they'll line up here to go for try and get the 3rd down conversion deep into their own territory. So as Longo lines up under center, takes a snap, another handoff inside, and this is completely met by a brick wall again. Oh, we got a flag, late flag coming in. We'll have to see what that is, but that Mountain View Mesa run game again,
Yeah.
proven lethal yet again for this team.
Wait to see what the flag is right here.
Well, it's gonna be a personal foul against the defense. So another costly mistake against themselves. Like they're not gonna want to do this themselves all game, or they're gonna end up trailing or having to come back from this.
Yeah, that's 2 early penalties right there. That's not what you want to see from Mountain View, especially as their run defense has looked really solid to start the game. But 2 simple penalties. We had an offside or a neutral zone infraction, and then we just had a personal foul. You do not want to shoot yourself in the foot early to start the game.
Yeah, two errant flags that just ultimately gave the Lobos the ball on the 39-yard line, marching down. So something the Toros are gonna have to clean up, and Jaguars are gonna take advantage of this each time they get it. As Longo's gonna line up in the shotgun here with the running back in the backfield with 1st down and 10 here on a 38. Takes a snap, pitch outside, gets caught, and the run defense just meets him there. Gonna get a gain about a yard or two, but there it is again, that Mountain View defense just proving crucial again.
Yeah, going into the game, we knew that Boulder Creek was a run-heavy offense, and it seems like the Toros knew that as well. So it looks like their D-line looks very well prepared for that. They're getting stops left and right, but they have another chance right here to do so.
Yeah, that line has been really good for this team. Obviously, those 4 sacks last week, 5 on the season, just really kicking into another gear as Longo lines up here under center, excuse me. Checks the sideline, gonna get a playbook change here. Longo obviously not always at QB. They have that injured quarterback out right now for this Jaguar team. So he lines up under center, takes a snap, and the inside read option, gets outside. Still has it. Longo, nice gain there to get the 1st down. That was a good read option there. Finally picked the right option for this Jaguar offense.
Yeah, that was a good job by Longo right there to pull it away and run the ball himself. Great read on the read option right there.
Yeah, and
Kind of makes you just wonder when you have a different quarterback in if the playbook simplifies a little bit. If you want to, Longo's a very athletic player, so if you wonder if you want to get the ball running with him more and for him to keep it more throughout the game.
yep, and like we were just talking about Joey Longo in that quarterback for the injured Stano, and just plays receiver already, so very athletic. So very much a dual threat here, quarterback for the Jaguars as he lines up under center yet again. And with the 1st down here on just outside the 50, pitches back outside, passes back to Longo, intercepted! Picked off by Mountain View Mesa. That is Brody Anderson there for the interception. Costly turnover, trying to get too fancy.
What a play right there by Brody Anderson. He read that play perfectly, jumped the pass, and got it right there.
Yeah,
But yeah, like you said, it looks like the Jaguars tried to get a little too fancy right there.
yeah, and that reverse kind of just wasn't there from the beginning and just kind of forced the pass back to Longo, ultimately costing it that interception. And a Mountain View Mesa taking back the ball, or excuse me, getting the ball, 1st possession here of the night. And they line up just about outside midfield in their own territory. Takes the snap, hands it inside, good running hole, gain for about 6 there.
But yeah, that's something we talked about early before the game started, that Toros defense, get that momentum, and it'll lead to offense right there.
Yep.
Anderson had a really good interception right there, and he can get the offense going now.
Yeah, Steve Meadow there on the carry. Gains for about 5, 2nd and 5 here, just outside on the 47 on Jaguars 47. As he lines up under snap, hands it off again to Meadow. Up the middle is going to I believe he's just going to get that 1st down at the 40-yard line. And that run game looking good so far here, Javier.
Yeah, it looks like Mountain View really wants to establish that run early on. Establish that run to set up the pass. That's a recipe that works for many teams. It looks like the Toros want to do that today.
Yeah, and the Mountain View Mesa moving here kind of fast, up tempo so far. Brady Goodman getting these boys to the line. Takes a snap in the shotgun. Looks to the left, going deep, is incomplete, off the hands of Talon Arnett. That was the guy last week who kind of took over for for this Toros team.
Yeah, it looks like Goodman wants to find Arnett early on, especially like you said, after last week, they were able to find each other throughout the game, try to get that early. Just missed it right there, just off the hands. Have another chance right here.
Goodman lining the shotgun, 2nd down and 10 on the 40-yard line of the Jaguars. Goodman making a snap. Looks like we're going to have an early penalty. Could be a false start. Looks like it is going to be a false start on the Toros. And that's 3 penalties early here, Javier. That's something that coach is not going to be happy with coming down the stretch.
Yeah, definitely, Jacob. That's something the coach probably going to let his players hear about it on the sideline, something they recoup and try to fix, especially early on. 3 penalties early on, a few minutes through the game.
Exactly. So that's going to put them back to 2nd and 15 on the 45 of the Jaguars as Goodman sits back in the shotgun, empty set in the backfield, looking for the different game play change here on the sideline. And Goodman takes a snap, rolls right, looking deep, still looking for a man, has a man over the cross, caught just past the 35 onto the 34-yard line. Looks like it's going to be a game in about 10 or 11 here.
And it was Talon Arnett right there again that he was targeting. This time he was able to complete it. And like we said, Goodman's going to try to find Arnett a lot today. They have a great connection, especially last game. So it looks like early on they're trying to get him involved early in his offense.
Yeah, great connection indeed as Goodman lines up in the backfield. Empty set yet again for the Toros. And looks like he take the snap, he's going to run left. He has a big hole, getting open, right open, left, missed tackles all the way past the 20, down to just at the 15-yard line of the Jaguars. Great run design there for the Toros.
Yeah, what a play call right there. The past couple plays, you've seen that the Toros lined up in empty with no running back there. So the Jaguar defense probably thought it was pass, and that was a good play design right there for Goodman, who was rumbling and stumbling right there.
Yeah, rumbling and stumbling indeed as he picks up that big chunk. It's 1st and 10, hands it off, takes the ball again, big hole again, taking on defenders. Is going to get just past the 9-yard line. We're going to mark it down at the 8, and we're seeing more of that offense of Goodman getting more involved in the run game.
Yeah, it looks like Mountain View had a read option of their own. That was a good choice right there for Goodman to pull it right there, run it himself, pick up a good chunk, and set him in 2nd down and 3.
Yeah, the Toros kind of imitating what the Jaguars kind of wanted to do coming into this game and getting that run game and just doing that. And they're going to go kind of up tempo here again. Takes a snap, passes out, gets the ball to Arnett. Arnett to the wide, just walked into the end zone, touchdown. Great play design there yet again. Arnett just went in untouched.
Yeah, we mentioned that right there during the game. It looks like they had another play drawn up for Arnett. Goodman hit him right there, and like you said, he went in untouched right there. That was a great play design for the Toros, and they are up early, have all the momentum to start this game.
Picking up right where they left off as we're just over 6 minutes left to play in this first quarter, and already fireworks going off for this Toros team. And Arnett picking up off of his amazing performance last week against Mesa. Truly, truly great play scheming there from the Toros. So we'll have a flag here on the extra point attempt.
Chase, flag on the play. One.
Looks like encroachment on the defense, so that's going to be half the distance to the goal for the Toros, and it looks like they're going to bring the offense back out and go for 2.
Yeah, that's always a smart choice right there. When you can draw that flag on the extra point, you get even closer for that 2-point conversion, and it looks like that's exactly what the Toros are going to attempt right here.
Yeah, and every point matters in games like these, so going for 8 is the no-brainer here as he lines up under center here. Goodman takes the handoff, hands inside, is going to walk in yet again untouched there for Meadow. So Toros take advantage of that encroachment penalty and going to go up 8-0 instead of 7-0.
Yeah, and that was back-to-back plays right there for the Toros where both players scored untouched.
Yeah, but just like we talked about earlier, great scheming overall from this Toros offense. As we look back on that touchdown real quick from Goodman, just right back out to Arnett. Arnett, no one there, one blocker. That's all he needed to get into the end zone there. Just great scheming so far from this Toros, and defense looks good, obviously, with that turnover. So if you're the Jaguars now, how do you come back out? Obviously, that first interception on the first drive and now giving up a touchdown. How does coach kind of get his team locked back in?
Yeah, so right there, you just want to tell your team right there just to not panic. I mean, it was a turnover, then you just let up a touchdown, but you don't want to panic just quite yet. Get your players calm, get them back ready to go. I know they have a different quarterback starting today, like we mentioned, Longo. Kind of just tell them it's all right, ease the nerves, calm the tension, and get back right out there.
Yeah, and head coach Joshua Barr is just kind of talked to us pregame about his team being banged up. Maybe, obviously not an excuse for this team, but definitely something to take a factor in when you lose your starting QB, lose your offensive lineman, lose a linebacker, everything like that. So if you're the Jaguars, you're gonna come back out here and just take it one play at a time. Still early, just over 6 minutes left to play in the first quarter. No need to get too cute with anything. As the kickoff is gonna go for an onside kick, and it's gonna be. Looks like the Toros have recovered.
And yes, the Toros do recover the onside right there. It looks like a sneak onside. The Jaguars might have not been ready for that, and the Toros will get the ball right back.
Wow, yeah, the Toros looking extra greedy there. They kind of took me by surprise. I thought it was going to be a normal kickoff, and they want to add more points on. And as we talked about, the Jaguars kind of getting back in the rhythm. They're right back on their heels.
Yeah, like I mentioned from the first kick, special teams plays a huge factor into the game, all 3 phases of the game, and that just shows you right there. Special teams is very important, and the Jaguars were not ready for that. Toros taking advantage. They get the ball right back right now.
As exactly, says Goodman takes the snap here in the shotgun. Meadow on his left. Goodman takes a snap, looks to his right. Good pass, caught. Going to go out of bounds around the 36, 30, 37 there as that's number 12, Vinny Uriarte.
Yeah, that was a good play call right there. Goodman was able to find his receiver on the out route to pick up some good chunk yards and set them back up with the next play right here.
Yeah, looks like it's going to be second and short here for the Toros as they go hurry up yet again, just keeping that tempo up, keeping this Jaguars defense on its heels. As Goodman lines up in the backfield, takes a snap, quick pass out here, and is instantly met by a defender there for the Jaguars. Number 21 for the Jaguars there. That's number 21 there, Myron Christensen for the Jaguars with a great tackle there to set up 3rd and 2 for this team.
Yeah, that was a good job right there, reading the play right there and immediately getting the tackle.
Yep, 3rd and short here. They go fast. Goodman right up the gut, just caught him off surprise and is still going. Wow. Looked like a little QB sneak they had there and takes it up for maybe the gain of 8 or 9.
Yeah, that was a big run for a QB sneak right there. It looks like he was just trying to pick up a couple yards. That O-line kept pushing and churning. Goodman kept pushing his legs right there, and they picked up a good gain right there.
Yeah, the wheels stay turning there for Goodman as they go no huddle yet again, and Meadow in the backfield for this Toros offense. I have 3 wide left and 1 out to the right as Meadow line up on his right, takes a snap, quick pass to the right there, and is instantly met by another tackler yet again, Vinny Uriarte again on the catch.
Yeah, it seems like the past few plays, the Toros really want to get Uriarte involved, and it seems like they're trying to pass it very quick to him, try to get him in open field and try to use his legs in open field right there.
Yeah, it looks like basically the same play design they had the other second down, so trying to see if it still works, met by the same defender both times, same defender, same catch. As Goodman takes a snap, looks to his left, going to go deep here, caught at the 15, it spins it out of tackle, and it's going to be tackled there at number 10, at the 10-yard line, excuse me, and it's going to be number 8 for the Toros and Cody Bodley.
That was a really good job right there by Goodman. It looked like he went through all his reads right there, found the open man, and that was a very good gain right there. That was number 6 for the Toros.
Yeah, sorry about that, excuse me. Number 6, Teo Weeks there for the Toros on that catch, and first down and 10 here. Looks like it's going to be 1st and goal, just in 1st and goal as Goodman takes a snap here, hands it out outside to the left, and he's going to walk in for the touchdown. There's Steve Meadow again. Great run, basically untouched until he got to about the 5-yard line.
Yeah, and you got to praise the Toros O-line right there. They have been on point. Another player gets in untouched. Another great play call right there. The Toros are up early, and they're just pouring it. They have all the momentum right now.
Yeah, it seemed like the Jaguars had about 4 minutes of what they wanted to play this game like, and the Toros just completely flipped that script by intercepting the pass, getting the touchdown, and then doing the onside kick and walking right down the field again as they line up for the extra point here, and it's going to be good. So it's going to be 15-0 here early in the first quarter for the Toros, picking up right where they left off.
Yeah, all 3 phases of the game today, Mountain View has looked amazing. They have all the momentum. The crowd is live today.
Yeah, and then that run again there from Meadow, just great blocking, great running over there as Meadow used that speed to get to the left outside and walk into the end zone.
All right, go ahead, reset.
Yeah, that was a good job right there by the offensive line right there for Meadow to bounce out and score right there.
Yeah, so 15-0 here early. We talked about this game being early still, but I think another score is going to put these Jaguars in worry here. Just only the first quarter, but as we saw last week, the Toros just like to pour it on, and like we saw it right now with that onside kick, kind of just getting greedy, and it works for them and to get more points.
Yeah, definitely. The Jaguars will probably be way more alert right now on this special teams play after the successful onside kick. They'll definitely be all hands on deck.
Yeah, as Gerard is going to set up here for the kickoff again. Will we see another onside kick or will they kick it deep?
We
We
are
never
about to
know
find
now.
out right now.
We never know with this Toros team now. Looks like it will be normal here, and Jaguars will line up to receive. Is caught at the 8, is going to be returned here by the Jaguars, and is quickly met by a wave of Toro defenders, and is going to go down right about the 25 here for the Jaguars offense.
Yeah, going back to that onside kick that they got earlier that was successful, that could be something that they've been practicing in practice all week. They might have noticed something on film that they liked and they went after it early, which it paid off. They're up 15-0, so that could have been something that the coach pointed out in the film room and they executed it perfectly.
Yeah, so this Boulder Creek Jaguar the offense comes back out. Shaden Perry was the one who threw that interception on that play. So kind of looking to erase that from their minds and get this offense going here early, as Longo will line up here under center for the Jaguars. Motion in the backfield there from Perry is going to hand off the middle, and it's going to be quickly met by that Toro defense again, Javier.
Yeah, that Toros defense looks really good today. That run defense, I feel like they knew what they were going to expect from the Jaguars, and they are just continue to ride up that momentum. You kind of have to wonder if the Jaguars will try to switch it up a little bit, but like when they did switch it up, it resulted in an interception. So they're going to have to pivot to something right here.
Yeah, one of those key players that Coach talked about was number 72, Nicholas Webster here for Boulder Creek. That offensive lineman is out today with an injury. That could be one of the reasons why this run game has just not been able to get going, but most probably that is that D-line just amazing. As Longo takes a snap here, pitches outside there to Perry. Perry's taking out the left side. Good opening, good run there for the first down. Great play design. That's kind of what they ran that one time, except they didn't throw the ball. Perry took it himself.
Yeah, it looks like they're just trying to get the ball in the hands of their skill players right here, let them go to work, and Perry with a nice run to the outside that picked up a first down right there for the Jaguars.
Yeah, first down at the 39-yard line here of the Jaguars as they look to get something going as we are just over 3 minutes left to play here in this first quarter. Kind of the complete opposite play style right now offensively for the Jaguars as they're kind of going huddle, taking their time, getting this lineup set up as it's not your average not your regular quarterback in that quarterback. As Longo lines up here in the shotgun, takes a snap, rolls right, goes back left for the screen, and he has a man and he has blockers. He's going off the sideline down to the 46, looks like, down to the 44. What a great run there. Great play design there from Boulder Creek.
Yeah, when you're down 15 points, you have to find something in your playbook that'll get the offense going. You got to slow the game down. They have set up a screen pass right there for another first down, and maybe the Jaguars can pick up a little momentum right now as it's back-to-back first downs.
Yeah, number 9, Quentin Shannon there on the reception and ultimately gaining all that yardage. So it's going to be first down and 10 at the Toros 43-yard line as they move into Toro territory and look to get some points on the board in this game. As a game, they're already down by 15, and they've only touched the ball once prior to this drive. As Longo lines up here under center, takes a snap, hands off inside, and it's going to be met, and it's not going to break a tackle, keeps going down all the way past the 20, down to the 16-yard line, it seems like. What a run there.
Yeah, right up the gut right there. He was able to keep his legs churning, and he just kept him going, and it led to a big gain right there.
Yeah, number 20, Sal Montez there on the run. Great run to get past the first defender and keep those wheels turning to get all the way down to the 18. It looks like we're going to have a timeout here for the Toros as they look to figure things out on this drive as Jaguars are marching so far.
Yeah, after a hot start for that Toros defense, that's 3 straight first down for the Jaguars. So it looks like right there they want to try to slow the game down for the defense, talk it over, and gain some of that momentum back that they had.
Yeah, and that's exactly right there. And for this Toros team, if you're the head coach in there, what are you telling this team? Obviously up 15 already, but this Jaguars offense driving right now. What do you tell this defense?
I think you just tell them we know what's coming. The run is coming. I mean, that's basically what the Jaguars offense has been doing today. Other than that interception, they've been running the ball a lot. So you kind of just tell them we know what's coming. You kind of have to buckle down.
Give her a countdown. 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm Anissa Reynolds with Varsity Sports here at Mountain View, where the Mountain View Toros are up 15-0 with 5 minutes left in the first quarter. They have had high energy, and their crowd has had high energy as well. The Toros are looking to stop the Jaguars and keep on scoring.
As Toros come back out here for this team, for this defense, and Jaguars will come back on offense. And Jaguars marching down the field here. Longo leading the way, giving out good chunkage yardage plays from the run game as well as the pass, setting up good screens. As Longo takes us, going to line up under center here with two in the backfield. Longo takes a snap, hands off inside, and is just quickly met by that defensive line, that brick wall of the Toros.
Yeah, again, that defensive line of the Toros, it looks like that's what the timeout was for, and it looked like it worked right there on that play. I think something interesting that you mentioned, the Jaguars offense and the Toros offense have been two completely different stories. The Jaguars get in a huddle, take it down slowly, and the Toros have been up tempo, so kind of have to wonder how that will play out for the rest of the game.
Yeah, that's a great note right there. As Longo lines up here under center yet again, looks like for the most part, he's been lining up under center, just trying to get this run game going for the Jaguars that we talked about. As he takes a snap, rolls to the right, throws it, has a man, and is going to be just dropped in and out of the hands, facing a lot of pressure too, going down in the backfield.
And
Number 13 there.
looks like that was number 1 right there for the Toros, Zachary Galaviz with the pass breakup right there. That was an amazing play right there. Tracked the ball, knocked the ball out of the receiver's hands, and he was able to read that right off the quarterback's hands. Great play right there by Galaviz.
Yeah, great recovery there too, as the receiver seemed to have him beat there, and then kind of just getting back there on defense and breaking up that pass is crucial there for this Toros defense as they look to stop the Jaguars from driving here on a third down, just on the 18-yard line, just inside the 20, as the Jaguars team's looking to get something going here before the first quarter ends. And Longo's gonna line up here in the shotgun. Takes a snap, is going to roll right, looks back left, got some blockers, going up the sideline, is going to jog a man, and is going to walk in for a touchdown for the Jaguars.
And that was number 9 for Boulder Creek, Quentin Shannon again. That was a great play design. It looks like that was a play that they ran earlier and had success on. So it looks like they were trying to set that up and keep the Toros defense on their toes, and it worked to perfection right there. That was a great play design for the Jaguars.
Yeah, and looks exactly like the same play design they had earlier in the drive where Shannon was open on that fake rollout screen to the left and just works yet again for this Jaguars offense. So they set up here for the extra point to cut this lead down to 8. And we'll make it 8 with that extra point there from number 27 kicker Ben Ungar.
Yeah, like we mentioned, it looks like that was the same play they ran earlier on the drive, and it worked, and it had a great success, so they ran it again, and it resulted in a touchdown right there. So it looks like they wanted to get that Toros defense rolling all the way to their right, and there was no one left on the left side to stop them.
Yeah, great response drive there from this Jaguars offense. After going down 2 scores, having the interception, getting the onside kick taken away from them to get the Toros ball back. Just really great poise from that Jaguars offense on the entire drive there, Javier.
Yeah, Jacob, it seems like that the coach right there for the Jaguars definitely had a talk with his team. Probably had told him to keep the nerves calm, keep that slow tempo for their offense, and it paid off right there. That was a great job to bounce back after being down 15.
Yeah, Toros up here 15-7, just over a minute left to play in this first quarter as Jaguars are going to line up here for the kickoff, and the Toros will line up here for the return as they look to respond to the Jaguars' touchdown drive and ultimately keep that lead to 2 scores. But I think later on in this game, Javier, that neutral zone infraction is going to come back to hurt the Jaguars as the 2 points are just crucial. We can see that in any game as the Jaguars kick it off here to the Toros. Goes into the end zone. It's going to be a touchback here for the Toros.
Yeah, like you mentioned, that neutral zone infraction right there. That goes back to what we mentioned. Special teams is very important. The Jaguars had a miscue on special teams, which led to a Toros 2-point conversion. So you never know what the 2-point conversion can do later in the game.
Yeah, exactly. So the Toros going to come back onto the field with a minute 12 left to play here on their 20-yard line. Just looking to kind of keep the offense going. No need to rush here. Obviously up by 15, or sorry, excuse me, up 15-7, and just looking to get that offense of game style game going again and get another score.
Yeah, they put together 2 good drives. See if the offense can keep that momentum rolling as they built off those first 2 drives right here.
Yeah, and that 2-headed monster back there, and Goodman and Meadow will line up again as Goodman takes a snap, passes outside to Arnett. Arnett evades a tackler, is going to go up the sideline, has a seam, and is going to be met by Jaguar defenders all the way up to the 39.
Yeah, what a job right there by Goodman to get the ball out of his hands quick. Was able to get it to Arnett right there, whose name we kept mentioning. said it a lot last game. Looks like we're going to say it a lot today. It's great way to get the ball in his hands.
Yeah, and it feels like we're talking kind of like a three-headed monster here with Meadow, Goodman, and Arnett, just kind of all of them at least touching the ball once on these drives. So Goodman obviously always touching because he's quarterback, but as Goodman takes a snap, hands it to Meadow. Meadow with the seam here up the middle, gets the first down. Another good run from Meadow, going to take him past the 50 into Jaguar territory at the 48-yard line.
Yeah, seems like the Toros are really leaning on those three players right there, really leaning on them. All three of them are seniors. They're returning. They know what this offense is like, and they're all looking really good today. That was a good run right there by Meadow.
Yeah, another good run there from Meadow. Had that touchdown score already this game as kind of the first time we see the Toros line up here as Goodman lines up under center, passes out to Arnett. Again, Arnett with the blocker, goes up the sideline, and is going to be tackled. We have a flag. Could be a holding on the offense there on number 1, Zachary Galvez. Oh, it looks like the ref just threw his hat off. Did Arnett say something?
Vince might be calling you.
Gonna await the call right here. The refs are huddling, talking about it, but it's worth noting that the Toros are still getting Arnett involved into this offense, find any way to get the ball into his hands.
Yeah, so we'll wait here to see the call from the refs. But it looks like one of the refs threw his hat off and pointed at Arnett, so we'll have to see what that could be too. Arnett, one of the key players for this game, so. So it looks like it will be a holding on the Toros.
As well as a sideline warning for the Toros. We're waiting to see what the ref said. A little confusion out there, but looks like a sideline warning for Mountain View.
All right, well, after all that, it's going to move the Toros back into their own territory, and Goodman will line up under the shotgun, with Meadow in the backfield. Rolls right, takes a snap. He's going to roll right, looking right, has a catch, and is going to be caught just past the 50, back into Jaguar territory there for his Galvez there.
Yeah, that was a good play by Goodman. Get the ball out of his hand. For yards you can right there. That was a good play right there for the Toros just to gain a little bit of yardage.
Of the first quarter here at Mountain View Mesa, just those penalties is just something that you're not going to have. When we come back here on Varsity Sports Show, we'll have second quarter action here for you.
In 2019, the JV Sports Show podcast began with the idea of spotlighting young people in our community. In time, that podcast evolved into radio, television, and live stream, and through that evolution, new ideas have enhanced delivery, giving a stage to students both in front of and behind the microphone in Arizona and beyond. Thank you for supporting the Varsity Sports Show, now the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 educational organization.
Welcome back here to Mountain View Mesa as we have some second quarter action here for you. The Toros up 15-7 here, looking to extend that lead as we come back here on the second down and 10 on the Jaguars 48. Kind of a stoppage here just getting set, and we're underway here in the second quarter as Goodman lines up in the backfield, in the shotgun. He's going to take the snap, rolls left, looking for his man, has Arnett deep, passes to Arnett, low pass.
Waiting for the call from the ref right here.
Looks like we're waiting for the call here. Was it incomplete or complete? Looks like it's going to be incomplete there for Arnett.
Little incomplete pass right there. A little low right there. Couldn't tell if the receiver got the arms under it, but it looks like it just hit the turf right there.
Yeah, so Goodman, you don't see him make those passes too often. But also was a tough pass on the run, so it's going to end up being third down and 10 here for the Toros here as they look to answer the Jaguars touchdown they had.
Yeah, that's a tough play to make right there when you're a right-handed quarterback rolling out to your left. It's kind of hard to get that momentum, so I think that's why it was just underthrown just a bit right there. But they have a chance to regroup on 3rd and 10.
Exactly there, and so Goodman lines up in the shotgun here. It's going to fake the read option, going to keep it, is running up the middle, has a seam, keeps going, and is going to take a big hit there as he's going to cross the 30 and is going to get down to the 26 of the Jaguars. So first down there.
Yeah, great run right there by Goodman. It looks like the coach right there just put the ball in his hands. He made the perfect read on the read option. And again, the Toros have had success with that read option today. Goodman has made the right choice each time on the read option. The coach trusted him in 3rd and long to run the ball, and he made another good read right there. Great run right there by Goodman.
Yeah, it's like pick your poison here with Goodman or Meadow running the ball on these options. He takes a snap here, hands it to Meadow, runs up the middle, is going to get a decent yard, like 5 or 6 yards there on the carry. And he's going to set up 2nd and 4 here for this Toros offense.
Yeah, that was a good chunk right there, about 6-7 yards right there. So that was a great job right there by Meadow to run it up.
6-7 indeed. As the Toros are marching down the field yet again with another great drive so far, led by Goodman. As Goodman lines up here in the shotgun, is gonna do another read option. It looks like he's gonna hand it off to Meadow, but Meadow just fell. Might have been tripped by his own teammate or been caught by the turf monster there.
Yeah, that was another read option right there, and this time Goodman decided to give it to the running back. It looks like he just got his feet caught up right there. Unfortunate.
Yeah, so like we said, just those read options you keep talking about, kind of picking your poison. Meadow or Goodman, you either have to tackle him or you're gonna have to chase after him. Right there, it looks like they both just kind of got tangled up. So it's gonna be 3rd and 5 here for this Toros offense as they look to cash in here on this second drive. Or excuse me, third drive as he hands it off to Meadow. Meadow's gonna be quickly met by the Jaguars defense in the backfield for a tackle for a loss.
Yeah, good job right there by the Jaguars defense, standing tall. The Toros have been driving on them, but on the 3rd down right there, they were able to stand tall, bring up a 4th down, and we'll see what the Toros decide to do right here on 4th down.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to leave the offense out there. Toros are going to try and go for this. 4th and 6, very manageable, deep into the territory. We've seen them go for the onside kick already. Look, Toros want to get as many points as they can get against this Jaguars team. As Goodman's going to line up here in the shotgun. Meadow in the backfield, like we've been saying all night. Goodman making some play call changes at the line. Motion here, takes a snap, rolls to his right, looking for a receiver, looks deep, is going to be caught there for the first down there. Number 1, Galaviz again for Goodman. He's been kind of his safety valve here, Javier.
Yeah, what a pass and catch right there for the Toros. Goodman was able to find his man, Galaviz, right there in the sideline. He got his feet in, and the Toros will be moving the chains right there. That was a great play right there for Mountain View.
Yeah, great play design overall for Mountain View Mesa here as they're going to go hurry up with Goodman under the snap. Passes outside to Arnett. Arnett evades one defender, avoids another. It's not going to avoid the second one, going to get tripped up. Looks like just behind the line of scrimmage or just about back at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it looks like Coach Litton for the Toros wants to get some plays involved for Goodman rolling out. He's had a lot of success rolling out, especially to his right, and that's how they converted that 4th down right there. But that was a good play by the Jaguars defense to recoup on 1st and goal.
Yeah, it looks like they're actually going to gain 2 on there. So 2nd and 8 coming up, or 2nd and goal coming up for the Toros. He takes a snap, keeps the ball. Goodman up the middle, just untouched, walks in for a touchdown.
What a play right there by Goodman, and I've been saying it all night. That read option for the Toros has worked to success. Goodman makes the read again. He pulls it for himself, runs it up the gut untouched, and we've been calling his name all night. And it's been in the run game. He's been making perfect reads on the option, and the Toros extend their lead.
Yeah, just really great execution on both sides for Meadow and Goodman, just deciding who to hand the ball off to and who's keeping it, and obviously the right decision there as he was untouched up the middle as they line up here for the extra point. Looks like we're going to have a flag.
Looks like they jumped early. The Toros are
Again.
already rolling out their offense back on the field.
Yeah, another mistake there on the special teams unit for the Jaguars is going to result in another 2-point try for this Toros offense and looking to jump up to 23 and not 22 anymore. So just those 2 mistakes are just costing this Boulder Creek special teams unit. In order to try and get back in this game, you're not going to get back with mistakes like that. As Goodman lines up in the middle, is going to go QB sneak up the middle, and it's going to be close. Let's see what they're going to roll. They're going to roll no good there.
Yeah, it is unsuccessful 2-point conversion. They try to run the quarterback sneak right there as they had a goal to go right there, but they cannot sneak it in. So despite the Jaguars jumping off right there and allowing a 2-point conversion attempt. They were able to stand tall, and it'll be a 21-7 lead right now for the Toros.
Yeah, so no good on that. Kind of a blessing in disguise for this Jaguar offense. So now they're only down by 2 touchdowns, 2 extra points, so they don't have to go for 2 anymore if they don't have to. So kind of just fell into the Jaguars' laps there, but obviously this Toros offense still looks like they just can't be stopped so far, Javier.
Yeah, Jacob, despite them scoring right there, they were able to stand tall on the 2-point conversion, and you never know. Maybe that can be something that can help momentum for the offense and get them going after they scored on their last drive. The little things can lead to big momentum plays, so we can see right here how that works for the Jaguars.
Yeah, so just under 9 minutes to play here in the second quarter. 21-7 our score. Toros leading the way after an interception and an onside kick is just kind of put the favor in the Toros' hands after the Jaguars received the opening kick. So the Toros are lined up here for the kickoff, and the Jaguars will look to respond again to the Toros' touchdown.
As the Toros get ready to kick off right now.
Gerard looks to kick off again. Maybe a busy night for them if the Jaguars can't figure out this defense on the kickoffs as he kicks the ball off. And Jaguars looks like it's going to be a touchback, so they'll bring the ball out to the 20-yard line for the Jaguars offense and bring out Longo again here, Javier.
Yeah, so when your defense has let up 21 points thus far, for Longo and the Jaguars offense, how do you think they respond right now?
I think overall, I mean, Joey Longo obviously he's in at quarterback today after the injury to Stano, and I feel like the coach just had to tell him that it's still early. Obviously, you're only down by 2 touchdowns now, or only 14, so you don't have to worry about 2-point conversions anymore. They're just taking it one play at a time. As Longo lines up here in the shotgun, or excuse me, under snap. Here on his own 20, takes a snap, hands it off inside. Toro's really ready for that. Looks like it's gonna be a gain of 3 though. So another one of those run plays met by the defensive line again for the Toros.
Yeah, it looks like the Toros were expecting a run. Their defense was able to collapse right there and get them. Their great penetration right there by the defensive line for a minimal gain by the Jaguars offense.
So the Jaguars come up here on a 2nd and 7. Just 8 minutes and 30 seconds left to play here so far in the second quarter. Looking to answer this game not out of reach yet. Obviously, they're only down by 14. They just got to get it going now against this tough defense. As Joey Longo will line up here in the shotgun. Looking to take the snap, takes the snap, passes outside, caught by number 8, and is going to be tackled just shy of the first down. Looks like 2 or 3 yards shy. And that's going to be number 8 for the Jaguars, Tate Larson there on the reception.
Yeah, and I feel like these are the kind of plays right there for the Jaguars that you want to keep running to try to get your team back into the game. Just simple plays, simplify the playbook with a new quarterback in today, get the ball out of his hands quickly, and make it 3rd and manageable. It's going to be 3rd and 2.
Yeah, 3rd and short here coming up. That's exactly what good point there, Javier. Just little plays at a time, just coming down. You don't need to take big shots, you don't need to take big runs or anything like that. So Longo will line up here under center, trying to convert the 3rd down. It's going to look like change the play call from the sideline. Longo looking at the defense, will remain under center here for this 3rd down. As he takes a snap, going to pitch outside here for number 9. He's going to be quickly met by Toro defenders in the backfield. It's going to be a loss. Quentin Shannon there on the rush, but quickly met by Toro defenders.
Yeah, what a job right there by the Toros defense to close in. They tried to pitch it to the outside to get him around the edge right there, but the Toros defense collapsed on that quick, and they were able to stop him right there. And it looks like the Jaguars will be punting this ball as they get their special teams unit onto the field.
Yeah, it's going to bring a 4th down here and punt here from presumably what it looks like. Well, I don't know so far based on what this game has brought us, but looks like it's going to be a punt here deep in their own territory and get rid of this ball with just under 7 minutes to play in this second quarter, and Toros will be back to receive. As he takes the snap, high snap, kicks it, punts it deep. It's going to be fair caught here around the 50, and it's going to be caught there. Fair caught just on the 49-yard line for the Toros.
Yeah, even though they're down 14, it looks like the Jaguars decided to play field position here. Don't want to risk anything. Do not want to give the Toros good field position, but they'll be taking over almost around midfield, it looks like.
Yeah, no need to risk anything for this Toros defense. You're up 2 touchdowns. You're going to receive the second half kickoff. Just kind of going through your position, through your regular stuff, and just kind of going from there as Goodman comes back out, and there's just been no answer so far for him, Javier.
Yeah, Goodman's looked great tonight, especially in the run game. He's made every read on the read option, and we'll see what it brings right here on the next drive.
Goodman takes a snap, hands it off to Meadow. Meadow's going to go up the middle, is going to gain about 3 or 4 yards there. Excuse me, make it 5 yards actually, past the 50 into Jaguar territory yet again for this Toros offense.
It looks like the Toros had a different running back in on that play, number 8 right there. Coy Bodley right there. It looks like they're taking turns in the backfield.
Yeah, Coy Biley there, excuse me, on that. Coy Biley on the rush on that. So Meadow getting a couple, I guess, a breather here, kind of just changing up. Goodman will stay in the shotgun here, though. And passes out left as a receiver, kind of evades that one, evades another one, and is going to be met by the third one. So good little pass out there, gain of 4. Arnett there getting on that reception.
Yeah, and it looks like the Toros right there just wanted to get the ball in Arnett's hands as fast as they could, get him in open field. And that was a good job of his contact balance right there. He was able to fight for extra yards and make it 3rd and 3. So instead of 3rd and long, 3rd and 3, good fight right there by Arnett.
Yep, 3rd and 3 coming up here for this Toros offense. Goodman's going to stay in the shotgun with Bodley in the backfield. Takes a snap, looks to his right, looks deep, has number 12 wide open. And he's just going to just walk into the end zone. That's number 12, Vinny Uriarte on the reception and the touchdown catch.
What a play right there by the Toros. Great play design. And right there, it looks like Goodman pump faked right there, and everyone fell for it. Led number 12, Uriarte, down the field wide open.
Yeah, just blown coverage there from the Jaguars defense. This something that cannot happen. I mean, Uriarte, I think the closest defender was maybe 10 or 15 yards away. So just complete blown coverage there from the Jaguars defense.
I think that was a great job by Goodman selling the pass fake right there. It looks like some of the Jaguars defenders bid on that, and then Uriarte simply just had an open go route right there. It looks like blown coverage, but that was a good job selling that pass fake and putting it right on his receiver's hands right there.
Yeah, as Gerard lines up here for the extra point, and it's going to be good. So 28-7 our score here. Great pump fake there from Goodman. Kind of, I must have thrown the safety off or the secondary off for sure. So the Toros will come off the field here 28-7 with a quick response. And this Jaguars defense is just looking like it's just been on its heels all night.
And the Toros offense can thank number 5 again for that, Brady Goodman. We've been calling his name all night, just like last week. He was last week's player of the game, and today he's looked amazing again. In the run game, in the pass game, Goodman's been really taking charge, and he's looked amazing tonight.
Yeah, Goodman just your dual threat quarterback here, using that 6'4" stature and 210 pounds. He's fast, he's got an arm, and he's big. So it's like kind of pick your poison on what you want to stop him on. So great offense so far from the Toros. As for the Jaguars defense, what do they need to kind of come back out on this the Jaguars offense, what do they need to do to come back on this series and kind of stay in this game and not get blown out?
Well, I think like last drive, they had one play where they were able to get the ball out quickly. I think they need to come up with more plays like that. They need to get the ball out quickly. They need to get chunk plays. They don't have to get it all back in one play. I think they need to take it one play at a time and just keep running those plays where they slowly work their way up the field.
As Gerard kicks it off here for the Toros, and the Jaguars let it go into the end zone. And kind of what we talked about earlier in our pregame, Javier, just defense wins championships. And as you can see, no matter how good your offense may play, your defense is going to ultimately what's going to decide the game. And right now, this Jaguars defense is kind of deciding the game for them so far.
Yeah, that Toros defense has looked the part again, which has led to good offense. And like I said earlier, using that defensive momentum to build into offense, the Toros have done it all night tonight. And they have another opportunity right here, but we'll see if the Jaguars can try to fight their way back as they're down 7-28 right now.
Yeah, so it's going to be 1st and 10 here on the 20-yard line here for the Jaguars. Just looking to get anything going and chip into this lead before half comes with just over 5 minutes left to play in this second quarter. As Longo will line up here under center, takes a snap, fake handoff, pitch into the backfield, and is just met by defenders instantly for a gain about 1 or 2 there for this Jaguars offense.
Yeah, and that was just another example right there. The Toros defense swarming. They were able to track that ball down immediately, and it's another minimal game for the Jaguars offense. So,
yeah, and the clock will continue to tick here, just about to be under 5 minutes left to play in this second quarter. And Longo lines up here under center yet again, kind of running the same formation for the Jaguars offense. As Longo looks to the side and looks for the play change. He was going to remain under center here. Longo taking his time. This clock is ticking. and takes a second down snap, hands it off inside, and is just quickly met by that defensive line again.
Yeah, that Toros defensive line looks great today. They were able to push up there and get a good stop. And sometimes it just comes down to the battle of the trenches right there. And today the Toros defensive line's winning the battle of the trenches. They're getting great pushes up front, and they're just swarming the ball. They've looked really good today.
Yeah, and this was a Jaguars run game that we talked about earlier, as one of the better ones coming into this week, as they had over 377 rushing yards coming into this game. But so far in this game, just absolutely nothing for this Jaguars offense rushing game. So let's see. We'll see how they adapt to that. As Longo lines up here in the shotgun for this 3rd and 7, takes a snap, goes deep, looking deep for his man, and is going to be incomplete. But we do have a flag. It may look like it's going to be defensive holding on the Toros.
Yeah, the Jaguars right there drop back and try to get it all back into play, but it looks like they're still going to get it back as there's pass interference on the Toros right there. So the Jaguars will get to move the chain. So
Yeah,
first down for the Jaguars.
the Jaguars catch a break there on that penalty. So Toro's playing really good defense, and then that just kind of happens. It's kind of a killer for them, but
Good job by the Jaguars just finding any way to pick up that first down, put the ball in Longo's hands, able to draw that pass interference, and they get a new set of downs right here.
yeah, it looks like they're just figuring out where to spot the ball right now. But yeah, like you said, Longo realizing he has a one-on-one coverage on the outside and just taking that risk. You're either going to catch it or you're going to get a penalty, or if it doesn't complete, it's incomplete. But obviously there they got that penalty, so it's going to move them up to about the 39-yard line here. So first down and 10, just under 4 minutes left to play in the second quarter. Jaguars looking to answer back and chip into this lead.
Yeah, one of the keys of the game for the Jaguars was their run game, so you kind of have to wonder down 21 points if they'll stick with that run game or continue to do more passes.
Yeah, it looks like the Jaguars are going to go change their formation last second. Only four linemen here for the Jaguars. He takes a snap, passes outside, and is almost intercepted there for the Toros. Just Toros all over that screenplay.
And that was Cash Skousen right there, who almost picked it off right there. It looks like he read it perfectly out of the quarterback's hands. Skousen does have an interception this season, so he almost got his second one right there. That was a great job right there for him to read that play. I feel like that would have went 6 right there.
No, for sure. And Skousen's coming off that interception that happened last week against Mesa, so kind of just riding that heat, but defense all over as Longo lines up here under center as we just under 4 minutes left to play here, and second down and 10 for the Jaguars. Longo will line up under center, takes a snap, hands it off inside, and is just immediately met again. I think we're just going to keep saying this all night as long as they keep running that play. It's just met again by this defensive line.
Yeah, I don't mean to sound like a broken record tonight, but that Toros front seven has looked great. That defensive line, linebackers, has swarmed the Jaguars' run offense. It seems like they've seen that in film. They knew that the Jaguars were a run-heavy offense, and they're stepping up to it today.
Yeah, it looks like they did see that in film a lot. I mean, this team, obviously these two teams don't meet too often. Last time they met, 2014. So, and obviously none of these guys were here against each other. So, really just film watching is what has come down for this Toros defense.
Yeah, they knew the task at hand today, and they've definitely been up to the task. They've done a great job at swarming the Jaguars, getting them flustered, and you kind of have to wonder right here if the Jaguars will start to do more pass plays, because one of their pass plays was intercepted, and then you seen right there they tried to pass again a couple plays ago, and it was almost intercepted. So you kind of wonder if they have to stick with their game plan or kind of shy away from that.
Yeah, and looks like we're going to have a timeout here for the Jaguars. They kind of just take the clock down as far as they can to under 3 minutes and take a timeout to kind of discuss this third down. And I think they're trying to discuss the game plan here, whether they want to go for a pass and let the Toros get the ball back again and try and score, as well as them getting the second half kickoff. So I think, what do you think here as the Jaguars coach? What is your mindset going into this drive?
I mean, I look at it, it's 3rd and 8. You need to pick up a first down right here, or at least close to one, to set yourself up, because they're down 21, and when you're down 21, you kind of have to move with a little bit of urgency. So if I was the coach right here, design a play to either set them up or to get them in good field position.
And we'll set it down to Anissa Reynolds here with a game break.
I'm Anissa Reynolds with Varsity Sports Show here at the Mountain View Toros, where the score is now 28-7. Number 12, Drew Newpel, just had a 50-yard touchdown to put the Toros up 28-7. The Toros have had very good momentum, been playing fast and keeping the Jaguars off their feet. I'm Nisa Reynolds with Varsity Sports.
And thank you, Anissa, for that call right there, giving us that game break there for us on the sideline. This Jaguars offense comes back out, 3rd and 8, looking to get the first down and not give the ball back to the Toros and allow them to get another chance to score before the half and let them go up at least 4 scores. So
It'll be interesting to see what the play call is here on 3rd and 8.
Longo line up under center here. From the looks of it, run heavy. Everyone's in there. Play action pass, takes a snap, rolls right, looking for anyone. Longo going to try and run for it. Is going to get sacked, it looks like, or looks like for no gain. So he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage, but ultimately not a first down and 4th down here coming up for the Jaguars, and the Toros will take a timeout.
Yeah, right there. It looks like the Toros defense had the coverage was blanketed right there. Longo had nowhere to go, and then they just let their defensive line go to work right there. Looks like that was not a sack, but it was a coverage tackle right there.
Yeah, and if you're the Toros coming in here, you take that timeout to try and get the offense back out and get another score in before half, and ultimately that score might just put an early dagger in this. Obviously, still another half, anything can happen, but it's going to be tough to come back down 4 scores, Javier.
Yeah, also with 2:43 left, it's also a good opportunity to give your quarterback a chance to run that 2-minute drill, because even though they're up by a lot, it's a good opportunity to see what he would do with 2 minutes left. So I feel like that's also something you can point out right there.
Yeah, great observation there. 2-minute warning, something you work on all the time in practice. So this would be great practice here. I guess not necessarily practice, but real life practice.
Translating that practice to the game field, yeah.
Exactly, and Goodman more than capable of doing that, as each drive recently is just them going straight down the field, big chunk plays. So Jaguars will line up here for the punt with 2 minutes and 43 seconds left for this Toros offense and Goodman to work with. So we'll see what they have in store coming up on this drive. It's a low snap, bobbles off the ground, and it's going to be blocked there by the Toros, but it's going to go out of bounds about the 38, 39 yard line, 40. They're going to mark it at the 40. So block punt there from the Toros, but Jaguars kind of get lucky of it, at least going forward.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I feel like I keep saying it, but the special teams again, the Toros are winning on all 3 phases of the game, and right there, I mean, it was a low snap, but they were still able to get to the backfield, get a hand on the ball, and it bounced right there out of bounds, which will give the Toros great field position.
Yeah, so Toros get that tip block punt, and it's going to bring them to the 40. So already at their own 40-yard line with 2 minutes and 36 seconds to work with. So we'll see what the Toros have in store here as Goodman lines up in the shotgun, making some play audibles at the line, and takes a snap, but we have 3 flags. Everyone throws out their laundry on that one. So we'll see what the call is for this.
Looks like it's a false start on the Toros offense.
Yep, exactly. False start here on the offense. So not a good start to the drive. It'll be 1st and 15 now for this Toros offense at the 36 of their own 36. So we'll see what Goodman and the offense has in store, as they still have just over 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to play. As Goodman takes a snap, stays in the pocket, looks to his left, over the middle, and is going to be incomplete. But we do have a flag on the play. Pass intended for Teo Weeks there on the pass, but incomplete.
Yeah, that was a bang play right there. Goodman found his guy. The coverage looked a little too tight as we await the call right here from the referees.
Looks like it is going to be pass interference on the defense. So that's going to move the Toros up to about midfield, I believe. So they get that false start, and then they get the pass interference, so kind of puts them right back into the territory.
Yeah, that's not what the Jaguars want. Like you mentioned, the false start stalled the Toros drive a little bit, but then they go out and get the pass interference, so they might want to clean things up at halftime.
Yep, and that penalty is going to put them into Jaguar territory for this 1st down and 10. So looks like they're doing exactly what they've been doing on each drive so far tonight, and that's marching down the field and getting points as they wait here for the correct ball spot. And we'll resume play right now as Goodman lines up in the shotgun. 1 running back in the backfield here for the Toros with 3 left, 1 right. Move up on his left now. Takes a snap, hands it off. It's going to big hole, going to go off the right seam. Has a few defenders to dodge. Gets past 1, is met by 2 just past the 20. That is going to be number 8 on the carry there, Coy Bodley, excuse me, on the carry.
Yeah, that was a great job by the Toros offensive line right there. He practically went untouched all the way up until he got tackled. They just opened up a seam for him and he took it, and great gain right there for Bodley.
Yep, and Toro's going hurry up offense here as Goodman takes a snap, rolls left, has a man, kicks it out, caught, and is going to go just past the 10-yard line to about the 9. But I believe we do have a flag on the play.
Yeah, I wonder what that flag is right there as Goodman was rolling out to his left. Maybe a holding or
An eligible receiver. Yep, an eligible man downfield. So kind of the risk you take in those kind of screen pass plays. The offensive line doesn't know what to do if it blows up. So
yeah, when you want to get your quarterback rolling out the pocket, sometimes a lineman tends to get a little too much up the field. Something like that could go wrong. But the Toros have had a lot of success with Goodman rolling out the pocket today, so it looks like that's what they were trying to set up again.
yeah, looks like it's going to be 1st and 15 here on the 25-yard line of the Jaguars as we go under 2 minutes here left to play in the first half as Goodman takes a snap, looks to his left, has a receiver open in the middle, gets the catch, hits a few defenders, gets past one, gets met by the other, and it's going to be down about the 12-yard line there.
Yeah, Goodman was able to find number 1 Galaviz right there in it looks like underneath in the flat right there, able to get some run after catch. He looked really calm right there in the pocket. Absolutely, the offensive line gave him the time he needed, and he looked calm, delivered it. Good run after the catch right
Yep.
there.
And Goodman takes a snap, rolls right, looks for a man deep, has a man deep, and is going to be just off the fingertips of the end zone. Looking there for Galaviz again, who just caught the previous pass.
Yeah, just over the fingertips of Galaviz right there. It looks like they had a great play set up, slightly over his hands right there, as he was trying to hit Galaviz again after hitting him back on the last play. So it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 right now for the Toros.
Yep, 3rd and 2 here for the Toros. A minute 25 left in this first half, so a first down here could probably let the Toros offense drain it all the way down and not let the Jaguars get another chance on offense. As Goodman takes a snap, keeps it on it, has a man tackle him in the backfield, but pulls him forward for a gain of about 3, I believe.
Yeah, it looks like that was enough to move the chains right
Yep.
there. Yep.
Looks like it will be a first down here for the Toros offense and extend this drive and keep that clock ticking. So just over a minute left to play here in this first half as Goodman leading this drive as he takes a snap, looks to his left, collapsing pocket, over the middle, caught, but there is a flag, so we'll have to wait and see what that flag is. But number 8 there, the running back getting the catch there. But we'll wait for the call and see. Looks like it may be on the Toros, unfortunately, for this offense. Yep, holding on the offense. So that touchdown will come back there, Javier.
Yeah, that was still a good job right there by Goodman finding his receiver, but when the play lasts a long time, there tends to be a holding, and that looks like what happened right there. He stepped up in the pocket, and a lineman just got a hold of one of those guys right there, so it'll stall the drive right there. But that was a good pass, and that was to number 6, Teo Weeks.
Yeah, great pressure there from the Jaguars defense, and as well as good pocket presence from Goodman as he lines up here in the shotgun with a minute left to play on the dot. Throws it over the middle, is going to be caught in traffic, and is going to go for about 4 or 5 yards here for this Toros offense. We're just under a minute here, and we'll bring up 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, it looks like the Toros tried to get the halfback screen going right there, but they were only able to gain a couple yards on that, and it'll set up a 3rd down, 2nd down.
I believe it's 2nd down.
Correct.
Looks like they have an official timeout right now. Yeah, no coach took a timeout, but it looks like the refs called a timeout for something, maybe for the ball placement.
Little confusion.
Yeah, so 2nd down and 9 coming up for the Toros as they get some of that yardage back from that holding, but not the touchdown. As Goodman will line up here in the backfield, and the shotgun, excuse me. Looks like we have a whistle and a timeout for the Jaguars.
Now we have a timeout.
So this Toros offense driving down yet again, Javier. Jaguars defense kind of holding steady for this, at least for this part of the time we're talking about it. But like we said, we've been talking about since the kickoff. The Jaguars defense is on their heels again.
Yeah, I think in this situation, as a coach, you kind of tell your team it's kind of a bend but do not break situation. Their backs are against the wall in the red zone. This is an opportunity right here to show that maybe gain a little momentum by getting a stop right here, but the Toros offense has been rolling behind Brady Goodman tonight as we've been calling his number all night.
Yeah, exactly. Goodman has just been the focal point for this offense. Same way he has last week and why he won player of the game last week. So we'll come up here. 40 seconds left to play in this first half. 28-7 our score here. I mean, the Toros are just looking to add on any extra points they can get, go into the half with the lead they already have. They're already up by 3 scores. Going up 4 scores will obviously be the goal here for the Toros. And Goodman will line up here in the backfield, ready to take the snap. 2nd and 9 here. Motion here in the backfield from Arnett. As Goodman takes a snap, looks to his right, looking over, going deep, and it is caught. They're going to roll it a catch or a touchdown or incomplete. Refs are discussing, and it's going to be a touchdown.
Wow, what a play right there for the Toros.
And I believe that was Arnett again.
That was,
Arnett on the great, I believe.
wow, what a play right there by the
Yep.
receiver to snag that in the back of the end zone.
And that was Arnett again there. Great catch there, and great way to keep his focus on his feet in bounds. So another score here for the Toros as they line up here for the extra point. And Gerard puts the extra point up and it's good, and that's Arnett again there, Javier.
Yeah, and I think that was also a great throw right there by Goodman. He was able to put it where no one can grab it except for his receiver. His receiver did a great job at keeping his feet in, and that was just a beautiful play right there.
Yeah, I mean, just calling the same names, but I mean, overall, this whole entire offense for the Toros have just been in sync all night, and ultimately why they're up by 28 just in the first half. So picking up right where they left off last week against Mesa, and this offense and defense clicking, special teams clicking. How do you think, like, what do you think guys prevent like this Mesa offense, or excuse me, Mountain View Mesa after that first week loss against Perry, and then coming into these last 2 games where they've dropped their combined already over 80 points?
Yeah, I think I mean when they did lose week 1 37-0, so I think that kind of just lights a fire under your team, and since then their offense has been absolutely rolling. Like you said, combined 80 points already for the past 2 weeks, and we're not even at halftime yet in this game. So
Yeah, 81 points in the past 2 games alone. I should say the last game and a half. We
yeah,
haven't even played the second half yet. So this Mountain View Mesa offense is rolling, and it's rolling indeed right now as this Jaguar defense cannot seem to stop it at all. As Toros here will kick it off, and Jaguars will just let it go back to the end zone for a touchback. So if you're this Boulder Creek offense coming back out, 30 seconds to play, as we have a man down here for Boulder Creek. But this Boulder Creek offense comes out, 30 seconds to do something. Are you trying to force something, or are you just going to take this into the half and go and see what you can do next half?
I mean there's 33 seconds, and they haven't had the most success passing the ball through the air tonight. So I feel like this is just a case where if I were the Jaguars, I would just take it to the half, recoup, regather, let the coaches say what they have to say, let the players say what they have to say, and you kind of just have to regroup right here. They're down 7-35, but they have a chance to maybe make something happen. But if I were them, I would just take it to halftime and kind of just recoup.
Yeah, that's perfectly said there, as we have an injured player here for this Boulder Creek Jaguars team, so they'll attend to him there for a little bit, but we'll discuss the second half for the Jaguars. I mean, coming back out, it's like, you're as a head coach in there, what are you telling your team to kind of like stay in the game?
I think as a head coach for the Jaguars, you kind of just have to light a fire under your team. Like you tell, I know they're banged up and coming to this game already, but they're not going to use that as an excuse. The coach is going to say the next man needs to step up, and that's kind of just there's a opportunity for the coach to just teach his players that no matter what the score is, you have to play hard. And playing from behind like this isn't ideal, but I feel like that's just a time right there where the coach just gets all his players, rally them together, and come out and play a cleaner second half.
Yeah, and if you're Coach Andy Linton for this Mountain View Mesa team, this team we've seen for this past game and a half has been more of the team we saw like that made the state championship last year, and not the one we saw week 1. So if you're Andy Linton, you have to be liking what you're seeing so far from your offense, defense, special teams all around.
Yeah, especially after the beginning of the games, the Toros were picking up some penalties that looked like that was stalling them. But since then, they've cleaned it up. It looks like they've cleaned up whatever was said on the sideline, and since then they've been rolling. And I'll note that not too long ago they showed the replay on the scoreboard, of that touchdown, and I can confirm it was Talon Arnett again. We've been calling his name a lot tonight as well, as Goodman and Arnett's connection and chemistry tonight has been amazing.
Yeah, it's been proven, it's carried over since last week. So great chemistry all around from them as the Jaguars come back out, and it looks like we're ready to finish out these last 30 seconds of this first half. And in a half where the Jaguars, it's a half to forget for them. So we'll see what they have in store on these last few plays of the half. As Longo will line up here on a snap, takes a snap, pitches outside, and is going to be immediately tackled there. That was immediately met in the backfield there.
That was number 24 right there for the Toros. That was Cannon Rabin.
Yep, and more of just the defense is all over. No matter pitch, handoff inside, they're just there to swarm them. So it looks like the Jaguars are just going to bring this down to the half, it looks like.
Yeah, they didn't get much going on that run right there, and they'll just decide to wind the clock down and bring it to halftime.
Yep, so that is going to do it for the first half here at Mountain View Mesa High School as they lead 35-7. Toros are just picking up where they left off last week, Javier.
Yeah, and like you mentioned earlier, that crowd, they have home field advantage. The crowd's been live tonight. They've been playing off of that.
Yep, and we're going to send it down to Anissa Reynolds with a game break here for you guys.
I'm Anissa Reynolds with Varsity Sports Show here at the Mountain View Toros in Mesa. The Mountain View Toros are leading 35-7 at halftime. The Toros have had great momentum keeping Boulder Creek off the board for a majority of the game. The Mountain View Toros have had good energy and very aggressive on the field. They have had an onside kick while also having an interception and a lot of sacks. Brady Goodman has done exceptionally well with 4 touchdowns today on the night, passing around to pretty much everyone, and it has been a good offensive showing for the first half for the Mountain View Toros. I'm Anissa Reynolds with Varsity Sports Show.
Mountain View Toro Varsity Tom.
So 35-7, our score here after halftime. Mountain View Toros leading the Boulder Creek Jaguars 35-7, led by Brady Goodman, and we will bring you coverage when we come back for the second half.
Hi, my name is Devin Blankenship. I'm an intern at the Varsity Sports Show. Today in this video, I'm going to be talking about Aaron Rodgers and the choice words he had for his former team, the New York Jets, after opening up their season 1-0 with a home victory.
Aaron, you spoke about the meeting with Aaron Glenn on McAfee a few months ago. Beating him, is there significance in that, since he basically told you to your face that he didn't think you were right for that team?
Yes, that's what he did.
So there's significance in beating him for you?
I was happy to beat everybody associated with the Jets.
Over the offseason, there was a ton of drama surrounding Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. Former defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, Aaron Glenn, took the head coaching job for the New York Jets and ultimately told Rodgers, "You're not the guy for us and we don't believe in you," which is why Rodgers was elated to beat the New York Jets in his season debut with the Pittsburgh Steelers. In his Steelers debut, Aaron Rodgers got a victory over the New York Jets. He had 244 passing yards on 22 completions. He also threw for 4 touchdowns against his former team. Aaron Rodgers has never been embarrassed or ashamed to call out people that he doesn't agree with necessarily in the media. Over the years, he's talked about all sorts of things, from medical things to his experience with drugs to his experience with coaches or organizations that he just didn't particularly like. So this wasn't necessarily a shock to see from Rodgers.
When September 11, 2001 shook America to its core, people across the country asked themselves, "What can I do?" In Arizona, one man gave the most powerful answer of all: Pat Tillman. Pat Tillman was a standout football player at Arizona State and a fan favorite with the Arizona Cardinals. He was living the dream: NFL stardom, fame, and a multi-million-dollar contract. But after the horrific attacks on September 11, 2001, Tillman made a decision that shocked the sports world. He walked away from football to serve his country. In 2002, he turned down a $3.6 million contract to enlist in the U.S. Army. He became an Army Ranger and served in both Afghanistan and Iraq, showing it wasn't about politics, it was about purpose and sacrifice. After his tragic passing in 2004, Pat Tillman became more than just a football player. He became a symbol of courage and conviction, not just for the residents of Arizona, but for the entire nation. This past April, Arizona State University proudly celebrated the 20th anniversary of Pat's Run, a 4.2-mile run-walk honoring the legacy of Pat Tillman, inspired by his iconic number 42 jersey. This 9/11, we remember the lives lost, and in Arizona, we also remember one of our own, who chose duty over comfort and left behind a legacy that will never be forgotten. This is Latoya Lucas with Varsity Sports Show.
I'm Marla Munder with the Varsity Sports Show. September 11th is a day to remember, a tragedy that shocked the nation. Let's take a look back at a sports moment that helped bring people together after these attacks. The date was September 21st, 2001, and the Mets were set to play the Atlanta Braves for their first home game since the attacks. The stakes were high. The Mets were 4.5 games behind the Braves. The game started with no scoring until the top of the fourth inning when Braves third baseman Chipper Jones slid into home to take the lead. The Mets struck back in the bottom of the inning with a sacrifice fly ball that allowed Mike Piazza to score. With the score tied 1-1 in the seventh inning, it was prime position to win the game for the Braves, and Rodgers took advantage of it as he ran in to take the lead 2-1. The Mets' chances of winning the game were low, but not impossible. The bottom of the eighth came, and so did the drama. Steve Carsey was pitching for the Braves. First at bat, Matt Lawton out. Second at bat, Carsey walked Edgardo Alfonso. Up at bat next was the Mets starting pitcher Mike Piazza. First pitch, strike. Second pitch, Piazza was ready, and it was another fastball.
Lopez wants it away. And it's hit deep to left center. Andrew Jones on the run. This one has a chance. Home run! Mike Piazza, and the Mets lead 3-2.
Piazza smashed the ball 425 feet to center field. Mets won 3-2. Piazza's home run brought in another runner. This was not just a win for the Mets. This was a win for New York. Sports brings people together, and Piazza's home run was definitely a win. Marla Mundo signing out with the Varsity Sports Show.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Dickmans reporting for Varsity Sports Show, and for this item, we're going to preview the upcoming race of the ASU Sun Devils triathlon team. The ASU Tri team is a 7-time NCAA champion. Last year, the team ended second in the NCAA championships. This August, they had a good start of the season in South Dakota with 2 top 10 finishes and an overall 3rd place for the Sun Devils. Upcoming weekend, the Sun Devils will race in Fruita, Colorado. The team is heading into this weekend with a lot of confidence.
I think this race is going to be a preparation for the upcoming races. So I think we are pretty confident that we are going to do well.
They have 7 newcomers this year and a lot of girls from outside the United States, which changes their team dynamics completely compared to last year.
The environment is new, so I guess it's really good for the team. So much fun. I think most of the girls are European or Canadians. The dynamic is being really good.
They're feeling very confident and are striving for the highest result possible this week.
These past 2 weeks, they're being really good. We have a really good sessions, bike with run. We did like a few very specific practice that they help us to gain like trust to see how we do this weekend.
The race will be on September 14 and will start at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time in Colorado. Jasmine Dickmans reporting for Varsity Sports Show.
Good morning, Varsity Sports listeners. This is Rodolfo Gomez from Sacramento, California, commentating on the impact of globalization in sports. Although the earlier recollection of international competition became the World Stage Olympics in 1896, then the World Soccer Cup in 1930, nowadays professional leagues since the 90s have made an effort to make the game more globalized. Both preseason and season games have been played in different parts of the world, such as Europe, Asia, Central and South America. It has been the main target, which has also excelled with the advancement of technology and the internet. This also includes a greater amount of percentages of international players across leagues, consequently shifting from continental markets towards global markets. While the cultural landscape of sports will continue to evolve, essentially the world is truly becoming the ultimate playing field, amplifying the outreach of sports and competition in a global scale. Overall, globalization has made sports more interconnected than ever, shaping both the way they are played and the way they are experienced around the world. Thanks for listening to Varsity Sports Show. My name is Rodolfo Gomez.
My name is Ethan Troll of the Varsity Sports Show. We remember all the lives that we lost on September 11, 2001, a day that changed our country forever. What it brought was a form of unity that the United States of America hadn't seen in many years. For sports, it became more than winning the game. It became a symbol of hope, recovery, and healing the American spirit. The New York Football Giants traveled to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs on September 23, 2001. Practices leading up to this game for the Giants were really quiet, leaving fans worried about the team. One fan, Tony Sacencio, took matters into his own hands and sent this voice message to GM Ernie Accorsi, according to starting running back Tiki Barber. "I went to see you guys play the Denver Broncos. The tragedies that happened took a lot of people's lives. I would have been one of those, but my family, my kids, have a father because I am a Giants fan." They took that message to heart and won the game 13-3, with Ronald Dane scoring the only touchdown. The New York Jets traveled to Foxborough to face their division rival New England Patriots. The rivalry became secondary. It wasn't a pretty game, but the victory to take for the city and its people was there for New York. The team won the game 10-3, their first win of the season. Curtis Martin scored the only touchdown of the game, pointing to the sky and carrying the football back to the sideline to take home for New York. Other New York teams won their first games back from 9/11, including the Mets with Mike Piazza's go-ahead home run, the Yankees' 1-0 victory versus the Chicago White Sox, and the New York Rangers' 5-4 overtime win over the Buffalo Sabres. All of New York's teams continue to play hard every game, not only for themselves and for their fans today, but for those watching from above. From the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Ethan Troll reporting.
Hello folks, J.R. Lambright here, coming to you from the oldest town in Texas. We begin a new chapter with a story not of a straight line to success, but of a path forged with grit and iron will. This is the story of a South Texas kid who became an NFL pioneer against all odds. Leo's journey was defined by a relentless pursuit of a dream against a backdrop of repeated setbacks. He went undrafted after a stellar career at Stephen F. Austin State University. After a tryout with the Cowboys, someone told him he was too small for the NFL. But that critique only fueled his drive to prove people wrong. While working as a substitute teacher in Harlingen, a call came from the Oakland Raiders. It wasn't for a tryout. His coach told him simply, "No, you're punting." Leo Bardau Argus not only made it, but set records in the NFL. His greatest legacy, however, is not found in a stat book. It is the manner that he returned to his home community in the Rio Grande Valley, giving back and serving as an inspiration to others. It's a testament to the belief that the greatest success story is not just about a personal achievement, but about serving as an example to those who follow.
Welcome back here to Mountain View Mesa High School here tonight as we are getting ready for some second half coverage here for this football game from the Toros against the Boulder Creek Jaguars. And so far, this half has been nothing short of a blowout so far. So going into this half, once again, I'm Jacob Noldy here with Javier Delgado here for Varsity Sports Show. Going into the second half, Javier, what are some of the things that you saw from the first half that you liked for Mountain View Mesa?
So the things for the Toros, there's a lot to like. I'd say they've been playing a complete game, all three phases of the game, offense, defense, special teams. They've all looked really good. Early onside kick to get that ball back to put them up 15-0, that was really good. But yeah, all three phases of the game today for the Toros have been really good. The name we've been calling all night, number 5, quarterback for the Toros, Brady Goodman. We've been calling his name all night tonight. Something I really liked from him, they've been running the read option really well. They've been setting up really nice, and I feel like every time they've ran that, he's picked the right option each time. Whether it was pulling it, giving it to his running back, he's looked really good in the read option, Jacob.
Yeah, really he has been. Goodman working in that backfield, both with Meadow and Bodily. He's been kind of just fluxing in between the two, picking up defenders when he needs to, and just kind of exploiting that. As for this Jaguars team, they're coming into this game 0-2 already, looking for their first win on the season. Back-to-back tough losses last week against Queen Creek, and coming into this game without their starting quarterback as well, and having this have the receiver fill their primary receiver fill in. And you're down by 28 at half. What is this kind of like mindset for the Jaguars coming into the second half?
I feel like this is just a time right here where kind of don't even look at the scoreboard. You take it one play at a time, one drive at a time. You have to rely on each other. Like when you're in that locker room, if you know what it's like, you guys are brothers in there. You just rely on each other, and I feel like in this situation right here, that's what they got to do. No matter who's hurt, no matter what's going on, the Jaguars players just have to rely on each other. They have a different guy in at quarterback today. They got to take it one play at a time. When they get the ball back, get chunk plays, move that ball down the field, and just stay together. I feel like that's the best approach they can take down 35-7.
Yeah, and for Coach Liddon for these Toros, I think you have to be ecstatic of how your team has played this past game and a half. I mean, coming off obviously that blowout loss to Perry for the season opener, not how you want to start a season, but long season ahead, week 1 only, it's September, like you don't have to worry too much, and they've kind of responded really well these past 2 games, and they're looking like the team they did last season, coming off that state championship appearance. And what quarterback Brady Goodman, I mean, he's just been leading the way for this team, as you discussed already. So coming into this half, it's just more of like making sure you hold the lead. And we've seen things happen. And for you, what do you think this team has to do more than that coming into this half?
For the Toros?
Yeah.
So I feel like when you're up this big, you don't get too big of a head. You keep playing the game how you've been. And also, I mean, the second half, even though you're up, this stuff's still going to be on film. So you still want to play a clean game. Because the coaches look at everything that's small, no matter what it is. And like when they get down to going over film, they want to play a clean second half, have great things to talk about. Just like they played in the first half, they had some few penalties to start off the game, and after that, they cleaned them up and they've looked amazing. So, second half, you just want to play a clean half, get all your guys involved, and just build off that momentum from the first half.
Yeah, and just keep doing what they're doing, keep the mistakes to a minimal. I think earlier those penalties did look like they were going to prove costly. Obviously, now we're at a point where the score is 35-7, so it looks like it didn't play as much, but it's still something coach does not want to see. So, but overall, the representation, we kind of talked about it earlier, the fans here, as well as the student section, they always just show out for this Mountain View Mesa home football team right here.
Yeah, Jacob, we were both here last week, and we seen that student section was live. There was a lot of students here to support their Toros. And again, they're here again today. They're showing out again, and it's always nice when you're at home and you can build off of some of that momentum from the crowd. And both sides have been doing their job today as they are up big.
Yeah, it looks like this week's theme is red, white, and blue. Looks like they're supporting that kind of what the Mountain View Mesa team is. So I think it's always like something that unites like a football team more beyond beyond like just playing on the field. I think showing support, obviously all these families out here, everyone in the crowd just showing up for this team and like being there for their kids, being there for their loved ones, stuff like that. That definitely does help them mentally, I feel like.
Yeah, so yeah, as a player, seeing your friends in the crowd, seeing your family in there, it definitely uplifts the vibes. And as you can tell today, they've had very positive vibes, very high energy around everyone, and they've been able to use that and maximize it to their potential.
Exactly, yeah. So looks like these fans are going to continue to show out for them, and we're going to get ready for some second half action as Toros come out with a 28-point lead. Quick reminder as well, if the team does go up 35 points, it'll be a running clock. So Toros opening up here on offense, a touchdown score would result in that clock to start running. So if you're the Jaguars team, if you want any chance in this game, you got to stop them on this opening drive.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good observation right there. Good point you make that when they're up 35, they do get a running clock, and we are approaching that territory. As pretty sure the Toros will be getting the ball first. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so going into that, kind of the same thing that happened last week. They were up more than 35 against Mesa. Clock started running. So if you're Mountain View Mesa here, you kind of want to just put the dagger in right now and get that clock going and get your players out healthy, clean, and look forward to next week against the game against Vasher. So
Yeah, definitely. As we are getting ready to kick off right now, as the kicker for the Jaguars will be get set to kick off.
yep, and Jaguars will kick the ball off here. We'll see what they do. We've seen an onside kick already from Mountain View Mesa early in this game. And we are underway here in the second half at Mountain View Mesa High School. Looks like Arnett will receive it, but it will be a touchback. So the Toros will come out here at the 20-yard line, and we will see quarterback Brady Goodman yet again, Javier.
Yep, Brady Goodman indeed. We've been calling his name all night, and looks like we'll be calling his name more coming up right now.
Yeah, just kind of one of the leaders for this team. I mean, as a quarterback, I think you have to be a leader. You know, senior quarterback, Division One offers. As you heard, he's been committed to Utah State. Kind of as a maybe as a, not as an ex-player, but as a as a spectator, as a watcher, I feel like being a leader, having leaders on these teams like this is crucial, especially if you're really good as well. You know, it's just being there. So Goodman will look to do that as he takes this under center here, takes the snap, fakes the handoff, rolls right, looking deep, has a man over the middle, and be caught. Number 40 there, gain for about 2 there. And that will be number 40, be Sterling Stapley there.
Yeah, going back to that topic you mentioned as a quarterback being a leader, I did play a little bit of high school football, so I know what it's like to be in that locker room. And when the quarterback's a great leader, the energy definitely radiates around that locker room, and you can kind of tell right there with this Toros team.
Yep, Goodman takes a snap, hands it off. Big hole there for the running back there. That's Meadow back in at running back. So right back into play, first handoff of the half, and he just blows right up the middle for a gain of about 8 or 9.
Yeah.
So first down here coming up for the Toros.
Yeah, it looks like they want to ride the hot hand of Meadow, who looked really good in the first half on every touch he had, and he was able to find his seam right there and just got tripped up at the end.
Yeah, right in the hot hand and also staying with the hurry up as Goodman takes the snap, hands it off to Meadow again, gets hit by one defender and is quickly met by 2 others. So short gain of 2 there.
Yeah, it looks like the Toros offense are trying to reestablish that run game to start off the second half. Maybe wind down as much clock as they can. I mean, they have a huge lead. Nothing's really urgent right now for them, so they will just want to reestablish that run game and probably set up some more passing game through that run game.
Yeah, Mike, you said that mercy rule running clock is definitely in effect here if they score. So we'll see what Goodman has in store for this drive in Mountain View Mesa. So takes a snap here for Goodman, rolls left, looking deep, has a man but falls, but it's just over his head too. Was looking there for number 6, Teo Weeks. Looks like he stumbled there though, Javier.
Yeah, it looks like the Toros wanted to get Goodman rolling out right there. They've had a lot of success with him rolling out of the pocket tonight, so it looks like they were trying to get that set up right there. But like you said, Weeks just tripped up right there, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 9 for the Toros offense.
Yep, early 3rd down here for this Toros offense. That they didn't have too many 3rd and longs so in that first half, so definitely going to have to work here with some pressure from this Jaguars defense. As Goodman lines up in the shotgun with Meadow on his left, takes a snap, hands it to Meadow, Meadow up the right, and is going to be tripped up short of the first down. Looks like it's going to be 4th and 6.
Yeah, it looked like a little delayed handoff right there, try to keep the defense guessing, but the Jaguars defense was ready for that, and maybe that could give them a little bit of confidence going into the second half. I mean, you never know, and that was a good play right there. We'll see right here what they bring on this 4th down and 6 to go.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to go for it. So Mountain View not not letting up on that gas, but looks like they're going to try and draw them offsides, maybe not run a play, but we'll see right now as Goodman is in the shotgun. Looks like they are going to just let they're going to call a timeout, actually. Call a timeout here and look like they're going to either change the play call or they're going to punt this ball away. So great start for that Jaguars defense like you were talking about.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting to see what Mountain View does right here, if they want to kick it and just play field position, or if they want to keep their foot on the gas pedal, get to that 35-point threshold that keeps the running clock. So it'll be interesting to see what they call right here. If you were the Toros right here, what would you do in this situation?
I think here, if you're Coach Litton, you're on this team right now, you're up 28. You can get greedy with it, but at the same time, you don't want to get too greedy. And I think right here, a punt just pins them back. Your defense has been playing excellent. I think you just put the ball back in their hands and let your defense go to work. But like I said, we don't know what we're going to see after seeing that onside kick. This is a very greedy and head coach and Andy Litton wanting to get as much points as possible for his team. But I think it gets to a point where you have to be smart with the football.
Yeah, and it looks like the Toros are trotting out,
Yeah, it
back
looks like
out right now.
I think the punt team's got to go out. Yep. So looks like he heard my advice and he's going to go for the punt here on 4th down. So Jaguars, great opening series defense there, Javier.
Yeah, football's a game of momentum, so a little bit of momentum, a little bit of confidence for the Jaguars right here. You never know what could happen.
Yep. So we have the punt here. Gerard here will take the punt, snaps, and punts it deep. Jaguars deep, a little short of a punt, but it takes a good bounce, really good bounce. Past the 15 is going to roll just out down at the 10. Beautiful punt there from Gerard.
Very friendly roll right there, and that was turned into a really good punt. It'll pin the Jaguars offense just inside their 10-yard line, it looks like. But that was a good job right there by Gerard to get that ball off and put a nice bounce on it to get it rolling. And like we said, all 3 phases today for the Toros has been working out, and that's another case right there. Their special teams has been hitting again, and that was another perfect example of that.
Yeah, so we hit on the offense, we hit on the defense, so now we get to see this defense, or sorry, the special teams, but now we get to see this defense come back out that played really well the first half. So as they have the Jaguars backed up and deep into their own territory. So we'll see what the Jaguars bring and we'll see what the Toros bring here. As Longo lines back up to the center and takes a snap and gets the brush right up the middle for about no gain there.
Yeah, and it looks like the Jaguars want to stay committed to that run-heavy approach. I mean, we both know coming into this game that's what they're known for, but like we've been saying all night, that Toros defensive line has been able to close in on the Jaguars O-line, the battle of the trenches they've been winning. And when you win the battle of the trenches, it's going to result in great things, and
yeah,
it looked like that for the Toros today.
Yeah, they've been winning for sure. I mean, they've just been getting nothing going on that run game. They've only had that one drive so far, and this Mountain View Mesa team has just not let up on both sides of the ball. So Longo will line up here under center to take the snap. Man in motion is going to pitch it out towards number 81. He's going to get a good seam, but it's going to be just met down for about a gain of 5 there, and that was Shaden Perry again. So kind of like the flex position here for this offense, just trying to get him going.
Yeah, it seems like throughout the game, the Jaguars have tried to get Perry involved with those pitches outside, try to get him in open field. I mean, when you have an athletic guy like Perry, you want to try to get him into open field, make guys miss, and they've been trying to do that tonight. But that Toros defense has done a really good job of maintaining Perry.
Yeah, it seems like left, right up the middle of this defensive line and linebacker secondary positions are just all over every single play call they got. So this will be a 3rd down and 6 here for the Jaguars. Big 3rd down coming up here as Longo lines up under center, takes a snap, rolls left, and is immediately met by a Toro defender and sacked. Number 24 there for the Toros. That's going to be Cannon Raven, who also had a sack last game, Javier.
Yeah, I mean, says it in his name. It looks like he shot out of a cannon right there. Got back there, got the sack. That was a really good job by them. And coming into this game, we talked about the Toros pass rush. They had 4 sacks last week, and right now that was a prime example of that pass rush again. They've looked really good. They were able to close in on Longo, and that was a good job by number 24, Cannon Raven.
Yep. And loss of 10 there for the Jaguars. So punt way back in their end zone. We've seen a block punt already from the Toros earlier in this game. If that happens here, it's not going to be looking good for this Jaguars team. So Jaguars take the snap, low snap, and is going to be just out. Wonky ball, but just gets out and takes a very friendly Jaguar roll all the way to just past midfield down at the 48. So very lucky there from the Jaguars on that punt, but gets a line drive dinger out of there. So.
Yeah, good job by the punter just getting that punt off. It looks like it was nearly a second block punt for the Toros. And that's back-to-back punts for both teams where they both get a friendly roll, but still really good field position for the Toros right now.
Yep, and if you're the Toros here, the Jaguars as well as the Jaguars defense coming out, they have to be feeling good at least a little bit about stopping them for the first time so far tonight.
Yeah, that should bode a little bit of confidence for them. They were able to get a stop on the last drive, so their defense is feeling good. But that the Toros have a very high energy offense. They've been able to establish both the pass and run tonight, so we'll see if the Jaguars defense can get another stop.
Yep, so Goodman will come back out here for this Toros offense, and he'll line up under center and takes a snap, hands it off left, gets a good seam here for Meadow. Meadow trying to chase the outside sideline and gets tackled just past the 42, excuse me, mark him at the 41, I believe. So
Outside handoff right there. That was a good job by Meadow, noticing he had nothing up the middle, was able to bounce out and get a great chunk play off of that. It'll bring up the 2nd and 1.
Yep, Toro's going hurry up offense here, 2nd and 1. Goodman hands it off to Meadow yet again. Meadow trying to go outside, and he's not going to get it, I don't believe. I think he's just going to get right back to the line of scrimmage. Oh, no, looks like they're going to give him the first down.
Yeah, it looks like he just got that yard right there. That's all he needed. But it looks like the Toros have ran a lot of hurry-up offense today, a lot of no huddle, and I mean it's worked out pretty much every time they've ran it. But that was a good job by the Jaguars defense closing in on that.
Yeah, Toro's keeping this Jaguars defense on their heels like we've been saying all game, just going up, hurry up as Meadow's going to come off, and Bodley will come back in, takes a snap, and immediately met in the backfield. The Jaguars defense yet again. That's going to be number 54 for this Jaguars team, CJ Loveland.
Yeah, like we talked about earlier, I mean, the things that they say in the locker room, what the coaches say, it could help the players out, and it looks like the run defense for this Jaguars has started to look a little bit better. They're starting to swarm to the ball and make some plays.
Yeah, whatever was said at halftime for the Jaguars is definitely hitting right now as Goodman takes a snap, fakes the handoff, rolling right, looking for a man downfield, is going to look up and run, and is going to evade a defender or two, runs into his own man, is going to get past him, and is going to go out of bounds, but we do have a flag in the backfield, so we will have to wait and see on that.
Presumably maybe a holding call as that play lasted a lot of time in the backfield right there. We'll wait the call from the referee.
Yeah, usually when those flags are coming out of the backfield, it's usually a holding, and it looks like the Toros are going to be backing up here.
Holding.
Just like you said, Javier.
Yeah, usually when the quarterback starts to scramble around in the pocket a bit, this is a short timer. The linemen seem to get too much hands on the other ones, and that was the case right there. But that was still a good run right there, but it will be coming back.
Yeah, so take away that decent gain there from Goodman, and it's going to now be 2nd and 19.
Yeah, great job so far by the Jaguars defense in this second half as they've stepped it up, but we'll see what the Toros have in response to that.
Goodman will take the snap here in the shotgun. He's going to fake the handoff, take the read option, go up the middle with a big gain. Looks like he's going to get all those yardage back from the previous, a gain of 10 there. So 2nd and 9 coming up.
Yeah, got all the penalty yardage back in one, and I don't know if you saw it right there, but that was another read option by the Toros, and that was a good job by Goodman to pull that and get a good chunk. So yeah, it's a 3rd and 9, so he did get all the penalty yardage back.
Yep, so 3rd and 9 now, excuse me on that. So we'll see what the Toros here have in mind. Goodman's in the shotgun yet again.
Are you standing by?
Looking maybe for a play action pass here as they've been doing all night. It's going to roll left immediately. Goodman looking for a receiver. Looks downfield, has a man, and is caught. And it's going to be a first down there. That's going to be number 6 on the reception, Teo Weeks. He's been kind of a safety valve like we talked about earlier, Javier.
Yeah, definitely, Jacob. We've seen Weeks a lot as a safety valve. That was a great job by Goodman to roll out, he stayed very patient on that rollout, found his man on the sideline, hit him on the numbers. Great job to get his feet in right there.
Yeah, great pass there as Goodman takes a snap again. He does the handoff to Bodley. Bodley's going to go up to the left side. Good handoff. Loses the ball, but is already out of bounds at that point. So good first down run there.
Looks like we got another flag on the field.
Another flag. Could be another holding. We talked about those flags coming out of the backfield. But we'll wait for the call here.
Coach isn't happy.
Yeah, the Toros coach looks pretty unhappy right there, so it looks like it may be going back on them. Yep, another holding call.
Another holding, yeah, that's Toros kind of we talked about earlier in the game. They did the same thing. Those costly penalties are hurting themselves, and there again, they're holding again. So if you're this Toros offense, you got to clean that up.
Yeah, it looks like they started looks like the way they started the first half is how they're starting the second half. A few penalties that are stalling the drive, so they're gonna have to clean that up right here.
Yeah, as Goodman will take the snap here in the shotgun. It's going to roll right, looking for a receiver, has a decent amount of blocks, looking. He's just going to throw it up, and it's just going to be out of bounds and complete there for Goodman. Good coverage on the Jaguars defense there.
Yeah, blanketed coverage by that Boulder Creek secondary. Goodman was rolling out trying to find his guy, but it looks like there was just nothing there. So he just try to get as close as he can to the receiver, but that was, like you said, great coverage right there by the Jaguars.
Yeah, so 2nd and long coming up here for this Toros offense, and the defense for this Boulder Creek team has just been looking a lot better from that first half, Javier.
Yeah, it's definitely something the coach will be a little happier about, that his defense is out there making some plays, great coverage, great run defense. Let's see if they can keep building off of that.
Goodman will line up in the shotgun here. Bodley on his right, takes the snap. Good pocket presence, throws over the middle. It's going to be caught and is going to be just shy of the 30, of the 25, or sorry, 23, excuse me. But I believe we have another flag. That's 3 flags on this drive already. So we'll have to wait and see the call here as they make the call.
And the Toros offense looks like they're already going back. It looks like they know it's on them, and
So
it is on them.
An eligible man downfield. Wow, so that's another penalty there. 2 holdings already, and now an ineligible man downfield. And that's going to put them back even more. So it was 2nd and 20, now 2nd and 25.
Yeah, it's going to wipe away that play right there. They got a big chunk right there on that pass, but it'll be going back as the penalties for the Toros are stalling their drive.
Yeah, even though it is stalling their drive, this clock is still ticking as we're just about to be under 5 minutes left to play in this 3rd quarter. So as Goodman takes a snap, fakes the rollout, is going to hand it off the middle. Big seam here for the running back, and is going to get out of bounds. So, but we got a late flag.
Are you kidding me?
Late flag here. There was a little bit of a collision there between number 12 and number 21 on the defense there. So number 12 is going to be Vinny Urate. So we'll wait for the call. Looks like it was a little bit late.
It looks like the Toros are pointing at Boulder Creek, but based off the reaction from the coach,
That's their defense. Okay, there we go. So now after all those flags on the Toros, there's 1 on the defense. So that's going to basically give them all the yardage back that they lost over those past 3 penalties. So.
Yeah, that's not something you want to see if you're Boulder Creek. I mean, you've got gifted a few penalties, and then you just get a personal foul right back, which will basically get, like you said, give the Toros all that yardage right back.
Yeah, it's kind of a penalty battle so far, and
it actually gives them a first down.
Yep. So 2nd and 25 just turns into first down without even doing anything. So penalty battle so far, and that clock is still ticking as we go just under 4 minutes and 45 seconds left to play. As Goodman will take the first down snap here on the 16, looks to his right, is looking for the end zone, evades some pressure, rolls out right, looking, throws it deep for the end zone, man open, it is caught. That is a caught by Tillman Arnett. Again, another touchdown for Tillman Arnett. What a rollout, what a pocket presence there from Goodman, and find the open receiver there, Javier.
Goodman to Arnett. Have you heard that saying yet?
I think we've heard that a lot today.
What a job right there by Brady Goodman. He was very patient in the pocket. He got the defense, the edge right there to jump on that pass fake. Rolled out. He rolled out to his right and threw across the field to his left and hit him right on the numbers. That was a great play right there, and it just shows you that chemistry between Goodman and Arnett.
Yeah, so Gerard's up here for the extra point, and that extra point is good, and that also means we will all be on a running clock now here for this game, as the 35-point mercy rule is going to be in effect here. So as we talked about, the Jaguar defense kind of looking better overall, and then that penalty just costed them heavy.
Yeah, that penalty right there was huge, and as we get the replay right now of Goodman, he rolled out to his right, threw it all the way across the field to his left, and and it was a great play right there to Tillman Arnett. We've been calling both of these guys names all night. They both looked the part, and for teams in the future, I feel like these are 2 guys you're gonna want to put in your put extra in the film room. They're pretty unstoppable, it seems like.
Yeah, just great play there overall from Arnett, and as well as Goodman, just dominating on both sides. Goodman staying in the game, and then Arnett trying to get open for his quarterback. So that's perfect on both sides. So, and the score here is now 42-7 with just over 4 minutes and 30 seconds left to play. And Like I said earlier, that mercy rule will be in effect now. That running clock will start to get going here as he
Yeah.
closes in on his third quarter.
Yeah, going back to that touchdown, I feel like that's a hard play to make at any level, whether it's high school, college, NFL. Rolling all the way to your right, throwing across to your left, and hitting him right on the numbers. That's a difficult play to make right there. But Goodman made that look very easy.
Yeah, Goodman's been making a lot of things look easy tonight for this team. It's an example of why they're up 35 points at the third in the third quarter. So overall, great night from both sides of the ball here, as the defense will not come back out for the Toros, and Gerard will do what he's been doing all night and booting this thing deep. So Jaguars offense looking to come back out and just do anything they can, as it'll be a touchback and bring it to the 20.
Yeah, and as we see on the scoreboard right now, the clock is running, so we will have a running clock as the Toros lead by 35.
Yeah, that running clock thing is huge, because now no matter what happens, it's still going to run. Obviously, when the quarter ends, the clock will stop, come back at 12 minutes. But for now, that clock is just going to continue to tick for this Jaguars offense, and it's kind of just settling in now for this Mountain View Mesa crowd and team that this might be it for them.
Yeah, if you're the Jaguars, you kind of just have to keep pushing. Do not worry about the clock. Continue to try to make plays and just keep going.
Yep, and Longo is going to line up here under center with the same formation we've been kind of saying all night from this team. It's either going to be a run or a fake pitch out. And looks like that they just blew it up again. Just the defensive line, we've been saying all night, blowing it up, and they did the same exact thing there again, just blew it up.
Yeah, it looks like Boulder Creek's just staying committed to the run right there. All night they've been in that run-heavy formation, multiple tight ends on the line. But the Toros defense has been up to the task, and right there, we just saw it right in front of ourselves again. They've been attacking all night. They've looked great, and that was great penetration right there by Mountain View.
Yeah, one of the things we've been saying is Mountain View Mesa team is just no one's satisfied with where they're at right now. So they're just going to keep on pounding and bringing it. So they'll line up here. Long will line up here under snap. Takes the handoff. It's going to hand off in the middle, and it's just going to be stuffed again. Just nothing going there in the trenches like at all tonight for this Jaguars offense.
Yeah, and like we said earlier, there's a lot of things that Coach Litton's going to like tonight, and that's their run defense is definitely going to be something they like, especially for the defensive coaches in the film room. That's something they're going to point out. All of the penetration they've got, the wins in the trenches, they've looked amazing tonight. So the coaches have to love what this Toros defense has done tonight.
Yeah, and this is big for what they have coming up next week in a team like Basha, where they're known for, football, and they're up there in the program wise. So you've got to love what you're seeing if you're Coach Litton right now. But obviously this game's not over yet. Still got to finish that. So Jaguars will line up here with Longo under center yet again. And they'll pitch out here to the right, looking for anything, and is going to get immediately swarmed and tackled, led by Toros number 13, Parker Foster. Came around from the backfield and caught up to him.
Yeah, it looks like they were just trying to get Shannon around the edge right there. But the Toros defense, like we've said all night, has rallied to the ball, and that'll bring up a 4th and 10 for that Jaguars offense. And it looks like they're still out there.
Yeah, it looks like they are going to go for it. I mean, you're at a point where you're down by 35. You're just trying to get anything going. You don't want to give up. That's not what you want to do. So looks like they're going to line up here to go for it, at least seemingly let the clock keep running. Looks like they're just kind of just there in the backfield. But like we talked about, this Toros defense has looked amazing.
Yeah, definitely. That the whole front seven has looked really good, and it hasn't only just been the front seven. I mean, like we mentioned earlier, they got an interception, so maybe the Jaguars wanted to shy away from the passing game after that, especially with a different quarterback. As we will get a timeout for the Boulder Creek Jaguars.
Yeah, a timeout here. So it looks like they brought the clock down all the way in timeout to kind of discuss what they want to do. Looking forward, I guess we can start looking forward now. This Toro team, so they're coming off a win last week, 46-7, and now they're up 42-7, only giving up 14 points and putting up 88 points in total, so 88-14 overall. And they're going to go into a tough test next week with Basha and at their last game of a homestand. How do you think this team translates these back-to-back games into that game?
I think in a case like that, you just have to remain hungry. I mean, no matter who you're playing, you just have to ride that momentum, and I feel like that's exactly what they're going to do. I mean, after a tough loss week 1, you see how they responded with that. So I feel like coming off of 2 wins, Coach Litton's definitely going to keep them intact and make sure that they know what's to come. But they've looked really good tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Couldn't have said it better for that way, Javier. As looks like Boulder Creek's going to bring out the punting unit, and looks like they're just going to punt this thing away and allow the Toros to get the ball right back. So big stop there, like we've been seeing all night, and we'll get the punt away. Just gets it away. It's a very high punt, and it's going to be fielded and received at about the 40, 46-yard line. So Toros will come back out already in Jaguar territory. Not the best punt, and this offense we've been talking about all night is just coming right back out.
Yeah, especially with having a running clock for the rest of the game. It seems like the Toros can just take their time marching down the field and just get some clean play and put it on film.
That's exactly right. So Toros offense will come back out, and we'll set up here for this next drive. And it looks like Brady Goodman is now out of the game. Looks like they're setting up in the victory squad out there and getting the other guys reps. So looks like it's going to be at quarterback. We'll let you know right now. He takes a snap and hands it up the middle and gets a decent amount of yards. Looks like he can get about 7 or 8 yards in there. And that's going to be number 10 in that quarterback, Brock White, sophomore.
Yeah, when you're up this big, it's always smart to try to get your younger guys in. That's exactly what the Tours are doing. They have a sophomore quarterback in now, Brock White. So allow him to get some game reps in. Allow him to get ready, and that's big for his growth, especially as a sophomore.
Exactly, yeah. So Brock White in at quarterback as Brady Goodman's night's over as he takes a snap, hands it up the middle, and is going to get good yardage here, getting about 3 or 4, and will result in a first down here for the Toros. And that's gonna also take us to the end of the third quarter. So touchdown from the Toros in this quarter, nothing from the Jaguars. Ultimately putting that mercy rule in effect and keeping that clock running, but as you see now, kind of the Toros are realizing this game is probably over for their side. But overall, I mean, the guy we've been talking about all night, Brady Goodman, what have you liked the most so far? Or, I mean, tonight, his night's over. What have you liked tonight so far from him?
Yeah, I mean Goodman's looked the part. I mean the pass game, the run game, he's looked really good. He's made really good choices. I mean he's just looked great. I mean the read option tonight has worked really well for him, and he's been able to make the right decision on each read option, whether it was pull it, whether it was hand it to the running back, and then he was able to use that, and which led to their pass game. He looked really good when he was rolling out, able to hit all of his receivers, whether it was a deep play down the field, whether it was a safety valve, whether it was someone in the flat. He's looked really good, and it's always a good sign when your starting quarterback is done for the night into the fourth quarter when you're up 42-7.
Yeah, and as for Boulder Creek, kind of an unfortunate situation. We talked to head coach earlier before the game and discussed sort of what his game plans were, and just talked about the main thing was his squad was banged up. Obviously, quarterback, Everett Stano was not in the game. Joey Longo taking over, one of their one of their main receivers. So
Yeah.
without him there, it's just you can't. It's gonna be hard to win a game as we take the snap here. And looks deep, has a man wide open, and is going to be caught and walked in for the touchdown. That's going to be number
25 right there for the Toros.
number
And they are just
25.
pouring it on for
Max
the Toros.
Germain, I believe, is what we have for that.
Yes, that is Germain right there for the Toros, and they are just pouring it on. Great job right there by Brock White to find his man wide open, and that play calling for the Toros has been sensational tonight.
Yeah, great pass there from Brockway. Obviously, taking over probably next year for Goodman, who's going to be going out, and that's something you want to see as well from a head coach, is seeing development from your younger guys. So Gerard will line up here for the extra point, and it's through. So the score now is up to 49-7 here with just under 12 minutes left to play in this first half, and we'll look back on that replay right here. I mean, White just threw it right where no one else can get it, right into his bucket.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, Brock White, the quarterback in now, he is a sophomore, and presumably he will be taking over the helm next year for Goodman. And that's something you want to see from your backup quarterback who's young. He's a sophomore, expected to take over. You want to get him as many game reps as you can.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have a penalty here as well, as we were discussing that replay. It was roughing the kicker here, so looks like the Toros elected to use it on the kickoff. So another mistake there for the Jaguars, but I said Toros are just going to enforce it on the kickoff. So, but overall, great drive there from Brock White, getting in for Goodman, taking over, and kind of just showing what he can do.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, we did talk to Boulder Creek's coach before the game, Coach Abar. He told us a few guys were banged up and some guys were going to have to step in. You can tell by his demeanor that it wasn't ideal for them to have those injuries to such key players, but I mean, you can tell that he knew what he had, what task he had at hand, and the cards he were dealt. And it's just unfortunate that they've had a few key guys banged up that could have made a big difference today.
Yeah, really unfortunate situation, especially when you have to make one of your star players the quarterback because you don't have any, like, that's your next best guy up, and he's the guy we talked about long ago. He had 9 touchdowns in his 3 games dating back to last season and the past 3 games. So when you take away someone like that who's a threat on the receiver end, it's like it's a big shot to them. So overall, just not the game you wanted here for Boulder Creek, but something that you can't really control at the same time. So Toros will line up here for the kickoff. Gerard will be set to boot it away yet again. Looks like a little squib kick. A little blooper there, and it's taken up on the sideline. Good gain. A flag comes flying in.
Yeah, it looks like that was a little pooch kick right there, as after the roughing the kicker on the extra point, they had some real estate right there to try to pin them deep, and that's exactly what they tried to do with the pooch kick. But there is another flag on the field on another special teams play.
Yeah, that flag was thrown from the sideline of where the tackle was made, so we'll have to see what the call is from the ref here. So face mask. So it looks like a face mask against the return, or excuse me, against the kicking team, so against the Toros. So that'll move the Jaguars up more, as they'll have first down and 10 at I believe, the 41. So Jaguars coming in down 49-7, just under 12 minutes left to play here in this fourth quarter, and just looking to get anything going for this team, honestly. So as a lineup here in the shotgun, believe it's still Longo in that quarterback. Takes a snap, looks to his right, good catch. Taken out of bounds about the 49 of their own, so.
And it looked like there was another flag thrown on the field.
Another flag, yep. So that 9-yard gain may be coming back or maybe getting extended here. We'll have to wait for the call. But overall, just great game overall for this Toros defense and offense, and overall all 3 phases.
We're sitting pretty right now.
As we wait for the call here.
We should cover it up with tape.
And it looks like,
oh wow, sideline infraction against the Toros. So that's going to move them up even further into Toro territory. So
yeah,
Jaguars looking to get something going here.
Yeah, they did get a sideline warning earlier, so that could be what that penalty is about. Little too excited on that sideline.
Yeah.
They have every reason to be excited after what they've done tonight, but it'll push it back a bit.
So that'll move them up into Toro territory. So it takes a snap, quick pass out here. Going to be jogged out about the 36. So gain about 9 there. Now it's from Perry again. So that's been kind of the only guy the Jaguars have been seeing something from overall from offense tonight.
Yeah, I mean, another flag thrown.
Wow.
A very late flag. The Jaguars offense was pretty much already getting set up for the play right there, and flag gets thrown onto the field.
I think I'm just going to stop calling yardage because there's always a flag at the end of each play.
A lot of dirty laundry tonight.
Yeah, and a game that's out of reach. It's just something that we don't know why is happening. But looks like it is going to be against the Toros.
Yeah, and like I mentioned earlier, I mean, even though they're up big, these little penalties are things that they were going to want to have to clean up. Like you mentioned, if they're playing Basha next week, these are not the things that they're going to want to have.
Yep.
No matter how small the penalties are, no matter how big the lead is, those are some things they're going to want to clean up, and that starts in the film room.
Yeah, and I definitely know head coach Layton is not going to like these little penalties, even when you're up by 40. So something definitely to clean up as they take a snap here for the Jaguars. It's going to roll right, looks for a man, has a man open, out of bounds, gain about 8 there. So Jaguars showing some offense here late in the game. Obviously kind of too late for that, but it's still good to see some reps get in and get these guys going.
Yeah, it looks like they're just trying to get the ball out of Longo's hands as quick as they can. And despite not having too much success through the air tonight, we did see earlier when Longo was able to get the ball out of his hands early, they were able to pick up chunk plays at a time, and it looks like that's starting to work for them again right here.
Yeah, then that's exactly right. So Longo in at quarterback. And we'll take a snap here in the shotgun. Looks for the right, has a man caught, and is going to be, looks like it's going to be enough for a first down here. So first down and just outside the 10-yard line. So great catch, great pass there, great route overall.
Yeah, Longo was able to find the senior right there, number 13, Cole Eggleberry.
Yeah, great there. Great movement overall. I mean, just like it's kind of something we should have seen earlier. You know, just like the quick passes going out, the quick digs, quick all that. Just getting. You don't have to get everything in one play, but obviously as we eclipse under 9 minutes and 30 seconds here, it's a little bit out of reach at this point. But always good to see progress like that. So Longo lined up here under center, and we'll hand off up the middle. Now keeps it actually. Excuse me. He's gonna get maybe 2 or 3 yards on the carry, so keeps it from the read option there, but it gets nothing more than 3.
Yeah, it looks like the Toros were ready for no matter who that ball went to on that option. They were all swarming. They were all back there in the backfield. That was another great play by them. But like you mentioned, I mean, the Jaguars offense has found a lot of success on those little quick dig passes, those little quick outs, getting the ball out of Longo's hands as fast as they can. They've had success on that. Let's see if they try to go back to that to try to get some more points on the board to cut the lead a little more.
Yep, Longo lining up under center yet again for this Jaguars offense. And we'll take the snap, hand it up the middle, and breaks one tackle and gains about 3 or 4 on the carry. So, or excuse me, about like 4 or 5. So it should be about third and short here coming up for the Jaguars offense.
Yeah, it appeared that the Toros defensive line initially had him stuffed at the line of scrimmage, but he did a good job of keeping those legs moving and gaining an additional yardage right there.
Yeah, looks like we have an injured player down though for the Jaguars, but looks like he's going to get up and walk off on his own will, so that's good to see.
Yeah, looks like they're getting him subbed out. That's the last thing a banged up team needs right now is another injury. So
Yeah,
even
that's
though he
Sal.
was able to get off, yep, they were able to replace him right there.
Yeah, Sal Montez there for Boulder Creek. Not something you want to see, especially in a game that's out of reach. So Jaguars offense looking to cash in and just get something going into next week, hopefully with this momentum, kind of carry that over and hope that they can, get a clips on their first win next week, hopefully. So Longo will line up here under center yet again for this Boulder Creek offense. Checking the line, making adjustments. Now we'll move into the shotgun here. Changes some things at the line and looks to get cash in. And we'll have a timeout, I believe. Yes, timeout Boulder Creek coming up.
Yeah, it looks like the quarterback Longo was trying to get his running back on the right side. It could be some confusion. I mean, they did just sub out, like you said, Montez, so maybe just a little confusion on the Jaguars end. Call a timeout here and talk that over.
Yeah, overall, I mean, I think this Mountain View Mesa team has just been dominant all 3 phases. We kind of talked about that already, but it's coming to a thing where it's tough for a week 1 loss to kind of get blown out like that and then bounce back like that. And they've done a great job these past 2 weeks to just kind of eclipse on that. So overall, just great.
Double. Ready, 2, on 2. Player of the game.
Toros are going to come out here of the defense.
Okay, yeah, Tillman Arnett. 31 on 1.
So Jaguars will come back out now, ready to set up for this 3rd down and 2 as they look to cash in something and get some momentum going into next week. And we'll line up here. Longo will line up, checking the sideline for the game plan change. And this is the same exact formation we've been seeing all night. Longo under center. Longo takes a snap, hands it up the middle, and is just immediately blown up by that Mountain View defensive line.
Yeah, that was a D tackle right there. It looked like that was number 57 for the Toros. Big TJ Gaines right there, stuffing up the middle. Great play right there by Gaines. Looks like he seen that was coming and just immediately pummeled him at the line right there.
Yeah, it looks like they did see that coming. I think they've been seeing it coming all night. I mean, I think overall what we'll be seeing is the same formation from this Boulder Creek offense, and I think once or twice if they do it again, they're gonna eventually the defense will eventually find out. So, and that's what they're doing. They're capitalizing on that. So
It's a
they'll
big
take the
fourth
snap
down.
here on the 4th down. Yep, and a pitch outside has an opening. It's gonna get past the first tackle and believe it's gonna be close here, Javier.
Yeah, we're waiting to see what the refs say, and
Let's underdog it.
Looks like they're not for sure yet either. No signal given yet. It looks like it's going to be first down.
Yeah, looked like he barely just got that. It looks like that additional spin move at the end that he got barely got him past that extra yard. It was hard to tell all the way from up here, but
Yeah.
good job by the ball carrier right there making that additional spin move,
Yeah,
moving the chains.
even though you're up 42 here, I'm pretty sure Coach Litton does not want to see a touchdown here from the Jaguars. So the Jaguars will line up here, 1st and goal on the 3-yard line, looking to get something going just to carry over into next week. As long as we'll line up under center, and we'll take the snap, hands it up the middle, and it's going to be a touchdown. Touchdown there for the Jaguars. It's number 18, I believe.
And that was Longo
that
right
was Longo.
there.
He kept it, yep. So he'll continue that streak of touchdowns in a game. So that's now 10 touchdowns in the previous 4 games, including this one. So obviously that's the bright spot of this offense overall.
Yeah, it seems like he's their most athletic player in offense. They want to keep the ball in his hands. And as the quarterback, they ran a keeper right there, and it worked right there.
Yeah, exactly. And that will still allow the clock to keep running. 35 points is still the margin for this game. So as we look forward to these next few weeks, I mean, for Mountain View Mesa, like I said, week 1 loss, these back-to-back weeks of wins, dropping over 40 points. It's like this is what you want to see from a team, especially after week 1 loss, to just continue that momentum and continue that momentum. But for a team like Boulder Creek, you're gonna probably drop to the season 0-3. What's the message for the team to keep going?
I mean, it is very tough to start your season off like that, but you kind of just have to look at the bright spots. You have to look at what things worked in the film room. You have to go back and look at the plays that worked, and then from there you kind of just have to build. I mean, you can't get too down on yourself. I know it can be mentally taxing to start your season like that, but if you're the Jaguars, you just have to recoup,
Yeah.
and that's. I mean, I'm not sure how long the injured players are banged up for, but I'm sure they should be getting them back at some point. So that's a positive sign. But as the coaches, you kind of just have to just get your guys together, rally them, and just get them to believe. Get them to believe as much as you do in them.
Yeah, exactly. And getting those players will be key, especially when your starting quarterback comes back and you can put your star player back at receiver. So that'll be definitely something to watch for coming up in these weeks for Boulder Creek, and just kind of get back into the win column next week, hopefully, or the week after. But it's a long season, 0-3. It's a tough task to call over, but it's still not over. You can still make it. They made the playoff last season with a losing record. They still made it. So I think this message to this team just got to be, it's a long season. You got to keep going. Injuries happen. You just got to overcome them. As the Toros are going to line up here to get the ball back with just over 6 minutes left to play in this 4th quarter. 49-14 our score. And it's going to be an onside kick attempt. Not recovered cleanly by the first one, but I believe he did get it back. Toro ball here for you.
Yeah, that was a good attempt right there by the Jaguars to try to get that ball back. For a second, it looked like they almost had it on the initial bounce, but the Toros were able to recover that.
Yeah, it looked like he bobbled it at first, but got it back. But like I said again, that special teams unit just, I mean, overall, all 3 phases today has just been great for this Toros offense, or sorry, this Toros team. So we see that again there as Brock White is going to come back out for this Toro offense. As we already mentioned, Goodman is now out of the game due to lead and just resting now. So White will take the snap in the shotgun, fakes the handoff, keeps it, has a big hole, is going to run up the sideline, got a few blocks, making some moves, and trucks a man towards the end and goes out of bounds. White doing his best Goodman addition right there.
Yeah, that was a good Goodman impression right there. It seems like this quarterback room has practiced a lot of read options because White right there was able to read the defense. He pulled it for himself and even added a truck at the end right there. That was a great run right there by Brock White.
Injury to insult there for that Jaguars. So White will line up here back in the shotgun, run it back to his left, takes the snap, looks to his right, is going to go deep, has a man open, number 14 just out of the reach of his hands. Great attempt there from White. And that would be number 14 there, Sean Magafer.
Yeah, it looks like he had him open right there, just out of his reach right there. And those are the things for the young quarterback that you're going to want to clean up. But this is what you get him game reps for. You want him to grow. You want him to learn from these kind of things.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. As he takes the snap here, makes the handoff, going up the middle. It's going to be number 33 here for the Toros. And that's going to be Emmett Hawks.
And like you've mentioned, how they've been winning in all three phases of the game. I mean, you said they made the championship game last season. That's what a championship team does right there. They win on all three levels of the game, all three phases.
Exactly. And showing that again, even with the reserves in there and the second strings, they're still want to get the minus details down as he takes the handoff, going outside again. Hawks trying to get anything going, takes on a few tacklers. It's gonna get a gain or about 5 or 6. So
yeah, and
still going strong and a first down there.
Yeah, good run right there by Hawks. Emmett Hawks, number 33. He's also a sophomore for this Toros offense, so they're younger guys right there getting a chance to play, getting a chance to show for when the seniors leave next season that they are next up and they are getting some very valuable reps in.
Yep, great way to say that as we're just over 3 minutes left to play in this fourth quarter. Takes the snap, is just dropped right there. And pass intended there for Vinny Urate, who already has a touchdown of the night, just right out of his hands there from Brock White.
Yeah, just out of the fingertips of Uriate. He's also been a name we called a few times tonight. It seems like they've tried to get the ball to him quick tonight, try to get him in open field and make some plays. It seems like he's really a guy to look out for in the future for this Toros offense.
That's exactly right. Yep. As White lines up in the shotgun here, ready for the second down. Snap, takes a snap, hands it off inside, back to Hawks. Hawks gonna get maybe 1 or 2 yards on the carry, short gain, bring up third down and 8.
Yeah, it looks like trying to get some more of that run game going for Hawks, as it looks like their other running backs are done for the night. So they're trying to get the sophomore involved and get him going, as it'll bring up a 3rd and 8 for the Mountain View Toros.
3rd and 8 coming up, just over 2 minutes left to play in this fourth quarter. As Toros are moving and White takes the snap, looking to his right, looking to run, gets out of one tackler, gets away from another, running up the sideline, 15, and takes on a defender and then get dragged out of bounds. So good run there. I believe it's going to be enough for a first down as we just get under 2 minutes left to play in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, good job by White right there, making the best out of nothing. He didn't have anyone open. He was able to scramble, and it looks like this Mountain View quarterback room is very dual threat. Like, I mean, both quarterbacks have looked really good running the ball, and as we've seen right there, White picked up a first down, was able to bounce outside.
Yeah, great run there from White, showing off his speed as well as his arm as he takes a snap here and hands it off to Hawks. Hawks up the middle, bounced off one tackler and is quickly met by 3 others. So short gain about maybe not even a gain, maybe no gain on the play. So the second down and 10 coming up. Oh, loss of 1. Okay, so loss of 1 there on the grain or on the carry, excuse me.
Yeah, the clock is continuing to wind down as we are now approaching the 1 minute mark, and it seems like the Toros are just trying to wind it down as much as they can to end the game.
Yeah, so it looks like maybe 1 or 2 more snaps left from this Toros offense in this game should wrap him up and move him to 2-1 on the season. As he takes a snap here to White, hands it off over to Hanover, and it's completely blown up there. That's number 22 for this Boulder Creek defense, Frankie Stubbs there.
Yeah, great job by Stubbs right there, recognizing that they were giving it to the wide receiver. He was able to close out on him and make a very nice tackle in the open field.
Yeah, exactly right. So it's 3rd and 15 here. Just about to be under 30 seconds left. So this should be the final play from scrimmage coming up here. Oh, looks like a timeout for the Jaguars. So not quite yet. Looks like this game will go on a little longer than it needs to. So
Want to say something?
Very interesting right there by Boulder Creek to call a timeout. Maybe just want another opportunity to milk this game out.
Yep, exactly. And like I said, 1 more snap should do it. And this game will be concluded as Mountain View Mesa will move to 2-1, sorry. So coming off the loss loss week 1, the win last week against crosstown rival Mesa, and now a win tonight, put them at 2-1 going against Bastion next week. And then for Boulder Creek, gonna have to wait 1 more week possibly for the first win of the season.
Yeah, that's big for the Toros right here. You know, we're going to be riding a 2-game winning streak going into their game against Basha, and that should give them a lot of momentum, a lot of confidence. They got a lot of positives they could take out of today.
Exactly. Yep. So White lines up possibly for the last time here tonight, and will take the snap here. And White takes the snap, looks to his right, passes up, and is just out of the fingertips of Hawks. So incomplete pass there, 4th and 15, and I believe that should do it for this game, barring any other timeouts or penalties, or if
Yeah.
they decide to run another play.
Yeah, with the running clock, it looks like that was the last play from scrimmage.
And yep, that looks like it's going to do it here for us tonight. Great win, all 3 phases for Mountain View Mesa. Takes the win tonight, 49-14 against the Boulder Creek Jaguars. And I mean, like we talked about all night, Javier, all 3 phases just flawless for this Toros team.
Yeah, Jacob, and that's exactly what makes a championship team right there. You got to win not just on offense, not just defense, but special teams as well. In all 3 phases, the Toros did exactly that. From the beginning of the game, they made their stamp, and they put the final stamp in right now as they won the game 49-14.
Yep, and just how we were talking about earlier in the game, the keys to the game, what would the defense be like, rushing attack like Boulder Creek, obviously run heavy a lot, but tonight looks like they showed up and didn't allow any running game going at all.
Yeah, I like the keys of the game. They had a lot of sacks last week, not many opportunities this week for because of run heavy offense from the Jaguars, but the Mountain View Toros defensive line, front 7 looked really good. They got an interception today. Just their whole defense looked sharp, and like we said, they won on all 3 phases of the game, and that's exactly how you make it back to the championship game.
Yeah, and this win was just led by the same few people we've been talking about all year. But I mean, there's overall a team effort. But obviously, the highlights of the game is just with Brady Goodman, Talon Arnett, and Steve Meadow. Just the 3-headed monster of a running back, QB, receiver trio is it's got to be one of the top 3 in the state so far.
Yeah, I agree with you, and they're definitely going to ride those guys going into next week when they play Basha.
Yeah, as they come off the field. As they come off the field to celebrate with their fans, their home tradition here to sing their fight song. I mean, they deserve it today. They obviously the 3 phases we've seen all day, all night was just incredible. But going forward, it's a long season, 2-1. Um, tough test. I mean, like I said, their head coach Andy Litton coming over from Horizon State Championship win with them, and they kind of just the quest to bring it on. How do they continue this momentum going into next week and staying hungry? You talked about staying hungry, but how does this mentally drain over to the next week?
I feel like you just keep that same mentality that you came into these games with. Stay hungry and just continue to want to win.
All right, and our final score here for you tonight is 49-14. The Mountain View Mesa Toros taking the win. I'm Jacob Noldy here with Javier Delgado and Varsity Sports Show. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great rest of your night.